Hello, everyone. Welcome back once again to the Tactical Nation Podcast, the podcast where tactical gamers everywhere. Welcome to the show. Welcome. Let's get right into it today, and let's see what everyone's been up to today on the show. We have Craig. Welcome back, sir, as always.
Howdy.
How was your week?
My week was fantastic as always. Can't complain.
Great. Anything special besides Hardline?
Besides Battlefield Hardline, no, just the usual rocking out Warframe here and there, and finished up the campaign for Dying Light, and that was pretty darn good. Got about 31 hours out of that, so not bad. Seeing as how I picked that off of like G2A, I think for like $30. So can't complain about that. But no, that game was actually really solid. Definitely one of the best zombie games out there.
Yeah.
Parkour, man.
From what people have been telling
Everything
me,
needs it. Yeah.
It's a really good game.
Yeah, I mean, and it definitely made me really want more Mirror's Edge as well, because I did love the parkour in Mirror's Edge, and there's a lot more that you can do with the parkour and the free running in Mirror's Edge than you can with Dying Light. But you know, if they had taken it to the level that you could in Mirror's Edge, it definitely would have made the game not so much more easy, but it would have like made a disconnect. Like you would have been too good at parkour, I think. But no, overall very good game and a lot of good Easter eggs. I know we'll be talking about at least one of those here in the podcast. So yeah, you guys should definitely check that out if you guys haven't.
Okay, cool. Also today, TD's going to be with us. He had something to do. I don't know. He said something about a life. I don't know. But, so we have Part-Time Hobo. Part-Time Hobo, welcome to the show. How are you?
I am doing fantastic.
You do anything special since we last saw you?
Oh, from way back when in December?
Yeah.
Well, I got the new headset. Got some new computer parts. Got a new keyboard, new mouse, all of which I need to do reviews on, because I know I originally planned for those back in December, but I never got around to them, so that is something I'm going to have to do. My roommate is gone, so you will not be seeing him anymore, and I am not getting a new roommate until next semester, so awesome. As far as games, I mean, if you want to hear about that right now, because I got quite a few to go into.
Cool. What games have you been playing?
Oh, okay, time to break into this.
Oh gosh, should we wait?
Bad Rats, Payday 2, Gary's
Bad
Mod,
Rats.
Cool
Oh
Nation.
no, you're done. Okay, and also on the show today we have a
What? Can I introduce him?
No.
Oh.
No, you said Bad Rats. No.
You didn't even let me finish the
You're
list,
off the
man.
show. Where's your camera? You're off the show. You're out of here. You're out of here. Get out of here. You're out. No, there's no hobo on the show today. And today, for what most of y'all are here for, we have the Vice President of Tactical Gaming himself, Double DeathDealer. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you guys for having me. Looking forward to talking smack to all three of you, especially Hobo, just because I like him.
Oh, and now I'm looking at the live stream right now. Echo cut my camera.
Yeah, I did. You're not allowed to be on the show.
Come on. Oh,
Well, hey, he's just jealous. Don't take it personally.
Yeah, I'm jealous of your colorful headset. I'm mad that mine's all black and blends in with my clothing.
Aw.
Also, you're probably jealous of the fact that I got a...
And it blends in with my hair, too. I mean, like, I can almost not tell besides that I got lights on.
Hey, you got a way to bring the volume up at all, Echo? You just gotta
Not on mine. On y'all's I do. Not on mine.
Oh, do we need to talk louder?
No, I think it's just me. As always, it's just me.
Mike's going closer.
No, you... Look what you did.
So since I'm using my laptop, I got my lips on the microphone on my laptop.
Y'all are fine. It's probably me.
So that's going to be a weird moment when your kid walks in and sees you like right up next to the thing.
Yeah.
Just Dad.
Well, but here's the interesting part is, soon my son will be in tactical gaming because he's 15, so he's coming, which is really cool. But anyway, that's beside the point.
That's more scary than cool.
A second generation TG gamer, that'll be a first.
It's really, it's always great. But anyway, what would be worse is that I got my face stuck to there, and he would just walk in and just kind of shrug his shoulders and go, "Oh yeah, that's nothing new."
Okay, so what have you got up to, DBL? Besides Hardline, we'll get into that in a second.
Well, unlike you guys, I wish I had as much time as Craig.
Yeah, you have a life. We hear about these things, but
so
we hear about them as getting a level up.
Kids can do that.
I got a lot of personal stuff. Obviously, it's been going on for me. I'm going to be doing a video here in the next couple days. Got some good questions, and I'll kind of answer, just personal life stuff of what's been going on. So kind of transitioning from my life in the military after almost 22 years now. So that's a very big step, really, because you have comfort of doing what I do, and then all of a sudden now you got to go find a real job, as I call it. So that'll be interesting for me as we kind of step. And then the other thing too is I've now had the ability to focus kind of back in to TG as a whole, and then really start focusing back in on kind of our roots. And that's what a lot of people throughout the next month, especially the division staff, and it's really started at the squad staff level, because I have division meetings throughout the entire month of February that we're going to get an opportunity to talk about all the issues inside of tactical gaming, and then obviously make the place better. So that's kind of really what I've been doing, is just focusing on the site and then just personal life.
Great. Is there anything else that anyone...
Can I get through my games list?
As long as you skip Bad Rats, yeah.
Alright, fine. Payday 2, Gary's Mod, Pool Nation, Arma 3, Payday the Heist, Metro Last Light, Insurgency, Toxic, and Battlefield Hardline. There you go.
Okay, congratulations.
That is what
Which one's the main one out of those?
Yeah, which one's the main one that you've been playing?
Arma 3.
Arma 3, of course.
Just because I'm in the division for it.
I've been looking at early access games coming out a lot lately, and one that I'm probably going to be buying is Darkest Dungeon. I don't know if y'all have seen gameplay of that yet.
I saw one of the dudes I subscribed to uploaded a video of it, but I didn't actually check it out.
It's like how it's early access done right, because the game is feature complete, but not level complete, if that makes any sense. Like, I go and play the game, there's bugs like a normal early access game would have, but like it's not like DayZ where it's like, we're going to have all this stuff on launch, and you come out and it's like you can't even walk. This is like, it's got all the features. It's only missing, I think, one level, and that's the Darkest Dungeon level, like the hardest dungeon of the game. So that's gonna be pretty fun. Other than that, I've been playing Hardline with y'all mainly, and been trying RimWorld again. I turned off all my mods on RimWorld and played a bit of that. Besides that, that's about it for me. I don't play many new games. I just play games.
Yep.
Hold on. I have to pull up stuff real fast.
Alright.
So, since we're sort of pressed for time, because DBL has some other stuff he has to do today, we're gonna go right into our main topic. So if you usually watch the show, usually what we do is we have our news / non-discussion news. So this would be like news like, yeah, this happened. And that's pretty much it. We're like, yeah, okay. Or maybe someone might be like, that's cool. But, and then we have our main discussions topics. But today we're going to have our main discussion topics at first. And the first one will be Battlefield Hardline. The open beta happened. A couple of us plays the closed alpha, I believe. And I think that those of us that did, we should talk about what were the major changes in between the closed alpha and the beta to start off with. And then we could move on to talking about the overall game as we see it so far. Is it worth to us paying a $60 price tag? Because I know for a lot of people they're like, it's just an expansion or a mod, but really, is it?
Well, if you want me talking about that, this is going to be like a 5-hour podcast.
Oh boy!
Should we have DBL go first?
Yeah.
Yeah, DBL. I'm interested in your thoughts.
Hey, you know what I'm gonna do is, let me go stick a pad underneath my butt if you're gonna talk that long.
Oh yeah.
No, hey, so I'll be quick on kind of my thoughts. I know most Battlefield players, Battlefield and Call of Duty. I mean, there's a distinct line between both. The Call of Duty world is very fast paced. A lot of lone rangers, as I call them, they can go into a game and just crush people. Battlefield to me from a tactical sense, it's one of my favorite games because you need teamwork. And that doesn't mean in Call of Duty you don't, because you do in Call of Duty. But this community, I think, is different in the ability that we strive to do that, because we know 7 guns is better than 1. So this kind of new thing with Battlefield, to me, what I paid is $60 for it, sure. I mean, and part of the thing is I think there's a mix here with how Battlefield is. People are used to very large maps, and Craig alluded to this the other day. I'm a 2142 player from back in the day as well. I mean, there's a lot of great things of, Battlefield that I love, all the way through the entire series, even the Vietnam expansion pack. I mean, I love that. I mean, and people were kind of upset kind of how that thing came out as a singular game and it wasn't attached. And I mean, it's just really weird. I think Hardline's going to do really well. Playing it, I didn't get a lot of lag during the game. Whenever he played it, I've seen it. My son's obviously played it on the PC version, and I got the opportunity.
You're playing on PS4?
Yeah, I'm playing it on PS4, and then last night I sat with my son and we played on PC a little bit. So still very interesting game. I think it's going to do very well for the franchise. I think it's different. I think it's going to pull a little bit of the Call of Duty fans over. My bigger concern is what the next phase of Battlefield is going to be. Are they just going to kind of make this a one-hit wonder, kind of speed everything up, all these vehicles, fast-paced? We get all these people, and then all of a sudden the next version we slow everything back down, we widen the maps, and then you're going to lose a lot of people. So it'll be interesting to see.
It's interesting to see how it'll affect people, because the way Battlefield 4 is going is they're planning to still have new maps and stuff released from what the news has been saying. It'll be interesting to see how many people actually get Hardline currently, and then it'll be interesting to see how many will go back to the standard Battlefield.
Yeah, everybody that I've seen thus far, I would probably say 90% have liked it. I mean, there is a 10% out there. I mean, even inside, if you just look at tactical gaming as a whole, 4 months ago when we started talking about Hardline, there was pitch and forks and people walking around saying, "We're not going to Hardline. We're not going to Hardline."
We're not going to take it.
Yeah, I mean, now all of a sudden people have actually, and although all of us, I think everybody in here, I don't know, played the alpha, so I'd already played it on the PC version way back when it was initially getting pushed. Now all these people are playing it and they're like, "Wow, hey, you know what? I do want to go to Hardline." And you look at that Battlefield thread. I mean, it's complete flip of what I thought was going to happen, 4 months ago when Battlefield kind of proved that. So
when it first came out, they were like, "This is just an expansion pack." And this, I know, Hobo, did you play the alpha?
The alpha was kind of weird for me because I kind of got screwed in the butt when that whole thing happened,
So
because
you get it but not get it sort of deal.
No. Here, let me explain. What happened is the alpha first came out for the PS4 and PC, and during that time I was still on my Xbox One in the Battlefield division, and I was just like, well, shoot, looks like I'm going to miss out on this. Then, as I switch over to my gaming PC, and I'm building that in late July, early August, I build my PC, and then a couple weeks after that, the alpha gets released on like all the other systems, and I'm like, well, shucks, I guess I'm missing that one too. And of course you can imagine what I replaced the word shucks with. So, no, I did not get to play the alpha because I was switching platforms at the time, but I did get to play the beta with Craig. Got to play a few games with him. So, that was all good.
Okay, well, for those of us that did play the alpha, to me it was very apparent that this was its own game. Like, the moment I stepped into it, this is like right after the E3 launch trailer had people playing on roofs and like news helicopters flying over at the E3 event, and people were like, "This is so fake." And immediately when I got into it, you're just like, the tone of it was different. Like, the way people have been saying it, they're like, "This isn't a Battlefield game," and yes, it is a Battlefield game. It's like Call of Duty, Treyarch, and Activision. There's 2 different Call of Duties, and now there's 2 different Battlefields, so to speak. And I really like where they're going with this, because they need to stay competitive with the way Call of Duty is. And the way they're doing it, by bringing 2 sides of a coin, there's like, yeah, there's these battlefields going on across the world, but there's battlefields at home, even though these are a little bit more upscale. These are still very plausible events that we see happen around the world, sadly.
To reference something that did happen relatively recent, the shooting in Paris.
Yeah, I mean...
Granted, that was only 2 guys, but those were fully automatic weapons, heavily armored individuals, and who was involved? It was the police. For them. It wasn't, they didn't call in the
military,
Marines,
National
their
Guard, whatever they
version
had. There
of,
was police and SWAT and riot gear,
and there were
knocking down.
explosions. I remember seeing some of the footage when it was.
Oh, yeah.
I was in the car when it was happening, and I just heard, breaking news, guys, this is going down.
Oh, yeah,
So
on
when
the
I got back
BBC,
home,
they had constant coverage that you just saw like blocks. Like people weren't allowed to leave their homes for a couple of days. They were literally locked in their house while cops are just going street by street, door by door, searching people's places. It was a very real event.
and
I
then
mean, if anything, I know how bad that event is, but that solidifies that this game has a precedence. It has.
there have been bank robberies where you had guys with AKs with armor-piercing rounds.
Downtown LA.
So there definitely is a real-world application of this game. So if that's your excuse for getting it's not a real battlefield, you need to take a look at your logic.
Well, but I would tell you guys, man, from a law enforcement side, knowing a lot of law enforcement guys, they're not really digging the game because of that. I mean, the LEO or law enforcement officers, it's a pride. You know what I mean? It's definitely, this is a very touchy subject. Now, some of them won't even give the game a chance because it says police in it and they don't really know. And then again, it's just a game. It's not real life. But
there's the issues going on with Ferguson.
Yep.
And there's a little bit.
Again.
But there's the issues going on with Ferguson right now, and there's all these things talking about police brutality and things like that. And so then you have this game come out where you've got officers taking on criminals. Granted, these are known to be criminals and whatnot, but you still got the thing where you hit Q. You hit Q to spot them, and it's like, get on the ground, you're under arrest. LMG goes down. It's like, you're under arrest, and then the next step is I'm going to put
fully automatic fire.
I can see an activist groups that is like video games are bad for you, turning this game into a commercial about how video games are bad so easily. I mean, there is that aspect. That's really funny.
But for those of us that are in the video game industry, that are not in the industry, but we participate in this industry, we are gamers. For us, it's not really about that. It's just about having a great game that's just really fun to play. And the setting, like I remember when this was first announced, like I was totally fine with it. But then I did remember like this is going to be 32 versus 32 fights. I saw the movie Ocean's 11. And it was called Ocean's 11, not Ocean's 32. You didn't have 32 people trying to break into a bank. That's just a little odd. And so there was a little disconnect.
How does that go without being discovered?
Well,
like 32 people. Someone has
to be fair, that's only conquest mode. So
True. Well, on PC. Well, this is just for the beta. These servers are hard locked, even on consoles. When the game does fully release and people have dedicated servers that's their own. You have Rush on PC that has 64 man. Yeah. Back in the days of Battlefield 2, they had a cap of 64 players, but you would still find Strike at Karkin 24/7, 256 player servers. People are always going to push things.
Well, that's the beauty of third-party server hosting.
Yeah. So that you're always going to have things like that. But it's still, I mean, that's a lot of criminals, and it's just and obviously that's just how many players are currently there. You're actually killing a lot more than 32 criminals. So I had games where I had a kill count of like 50, and so it was like the thought of just me alone taking on 50 criminals is like, dang, dude, I better be getting a raise down at my precinct or something.
Yeah, but I think some of the initial negative reception, along with the change in setting, the change in pace, and the change in things like game modes and guns and all that, aside from that, it was also the fact that the alpha ran pretty piss poor, at least on PC, because...
No.
Yes.
The alpha runs better than the beta, my friend.
Dude,
on my card, which is for everyone who's watching, my card is under the minimum requirements. In the alpha, I got 30 FPS. In the beta, I'm getting about 25.
Did they add more stuff in?
They have added a lot more content. There was less destruction in the alpha, and people keep commenting on the level of destruction in the beta. They got to remember, when they did the beta for Battlefield 4, even that one was the PC version was capped at, I believe, high frame rate or high graphics settings. You couldn't go to ultra or anything like that. But they also dialed down the destruction because the the client, the actual client that you have to download on PC and the current gen consoles, it's a 9 to 10 gig download. On the last gen consoles, it's around 4 gigs. So they have to make it something that is a manageable download, so that everybody can take this beta that they're only going to have access to for what, 6-7 days. So yeah, they have to make it something that is a manageable file size, which means you have to dial down.
In there that maybe they shouldn't have added, as we found out.
Yeah, that was a mode that we were given access to. So, yeah, so things are going to be dialed down. It is very much a beta. Things can change, and it's on purposely skimped so that it makes it a manageable file download. But Hobo, you did mention the game modes at one point. I am in love with these new game modes.
Hotwire, holy cow! I love that game. Like Hotwire, me and my buddy were like, we needed something to do. I was like, download the beta. We'll go shoot cars. So we just drove around and shot cars for about 3 hours, and it was great.
Mm-hmm. Well, the thing with Hotwire is, I mean, I love the fact that it's being integrated into Battlefield, because I do feel like that game mode fits well with Battlefield, but that's not something entirely new, because for those of you that have been around on the PC side of things a little bit longer than at least I have, there's a game out there called Tactical Intervention, which is just essentially the Hotwire game mode.
It doesn't have to be new, though. Pretty much any AAA game coming out isn't new. It's it's all
it's their twist.
It's like the same old, but with this graphic style, or the same old with this
with Levolution
feature. Yeah. I mean, AAA games are very
that
much
crane thing is awesome.
New.
On the downtown map, when you got the chopper, the two transport choppers flying through there, and they can fly through the wires holding up that crane, and they can clip them, and sometimes you'll see them like fly, they'll hit them and they'll flip and crash into a building or something. But when that crane's going down, I had so many Hotwire rounds where that crane was going down, and I'm like, it's like something out of a movie, like Indiana Jones, where he's running from the big boulder, and like I'm driving and the crane is falling behind me, and you're always in the movies like, just step to the left or step to the right, just get out of the way, stop running away from it, just step out of the side from it. But it's like, I can't, there's buildings, I just gotta floor it, and the thing collapses, and we barely clear the crane, falling by like inches, and it's a very, pardon the pun, but it's a very visceral game. The people that make it are visceral, of course, and so it definitely is a lot more action packed. I mean, the Battlefield series saw that when they added in the rush game mode. There was a lot more centralized action that was happening. Conquest was always very action-packed, but it was spread out over massive maps. So now you've got Heist, and that kind of takes things from the rush game mode and puts it on steroids. And I really like it because a lot of these modes are very dynamic. That's one of the big reasons people that like Battlefield, yes, it's the teamwork that's required because of the class base. Yes, the vehicles are awesome. The destruction, that added to it. But it's just the scale of the maps. And this is something that happens in PlanetSide and happens in Arma as well. But the scale of the maps do allow very dynamic gameplay. You're not just funneling through the same small map. You've got flanking routes, you've got verticality, you've got all these things. You could be doing a massive infantry fight with everybody as the assault class or the operator class in Hardline, and then all of a sudden a tank shows up, or in the case of Hardline, one of the armored transport vehicles with a minigun on it shows up, and then you have to adapt to the changing battlefield, and so that keeps everybody on their toes. But now these game modes actually, they actually do change. Yeah, that's why I loved Titan mode in 2142.
Yeah.
Because it starts out like Conquest. Once you get the shields down on the enemy's Titan, you have the option. You can keep capping stuff and just take it down with the SAM sights, the surface air missiles, or you can fly up there, board it, and everything becomes now this close quarters fight, and the pace of it just completely changes. There's no more vehicles. Everybody's rocking weapons that favor close quarters, and so it dynamically changes. With Heist, it starts out like Rush, where you have two objectives that you're trying to arm and disarm, and you've got that attack and defend.
Destroy.
Yeah, but once you get inside, now it switches to CTF.
It's like, we need to get out of here now.
Yeah, now there's these objectives that you actually have to get. It's one person that holds on to it, and they have to get to the capture zone. So that's very, 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 very cool.
What if the police blow up one of the helicopters? Where do you go then?
Yeah, that's actually something I didn't know they were doing.
Yeah, that was something I think that caught us all by surprise. Like, I think I was just like, oh, that's cool, but everyone else was like,
Well,
what? You can blow up the helicopters?
well, for me, it wasn't really much of a surprise because I hopped in with Craig doing several heist mode rounds, and when I heard that you could blow up the helicopters, I'm like, oh, well, that's a nice little touch of realism. I wasn't, like, blown away by it because I was kind of introduced to it from the get-go.
Well, that was something that they added that the alpha didn't have. Because in the alpha...
The alpha only had 2 games.
Well, again,
Yeah,
see, I didn't play the alpha, so...
Yeah, you just had to get to the capture zone,
and
it instantly happened.
Yeah, well,
Now
I tell you, I'm going to tell you, though, that, that the only way, this is where I think that Battlefield as a whole, DICE, and all the different, publishers and developers that make games for Battlefield, they have got to start looking at Call of Duty to figure out, how to have a competitive side to this. Because, here's the reality is that, Battlefield has always had a cult following. It's kind of like Far Cry and a couple other games out there. It's a very cult followed game. Groups like ours are very devoted to it, but, you're not giving individual players the ability to really, because the life of a game, and I know you all understand this, the single player only takes you so far. So you got, 30, 60 days or however long it takes for somebody to beat it. Then you have replayability on that game. How good is it? Are they going to keep playing it? Which really the best game right now for that, or one of the best games I've seen in a while, is Destiny. But that's a totally different discussion. But now for Battlefield, you got to get ready when Hardline releases. You've got to have a multiplayer side there that is small enough that you can have smaller teams having major events like Call of Duty does. Because if they don't do that, if they continue to only have the 64 versus 64 world that they're having right now, or 32 versus 32. I mean, who can pay for a team of 32 people to go to Los Angeles? You know what I mean? Like that is ridiculous, man. It's not going to happen.
To
be fair,
that segues really good though into the leak that I stumbled upon during the beta. Is they actually have a competitive mode that was in the beta that wasn't supposed to be in the beta called Rescue, and that's going to be sort of it's
one of the two.
It's one of their two.
How many people were in it? I mean, I watched that video, but
yeah, it's 5v5.
Yeah. And see, I think that
search and destroy.
Yeah, they need to take that down. 5v5 is pretty respectable. I don't think most Battlefield players are going to agree with that because they like larger teams. But I mean, I think if you look at Call of Duty as a whole, 4v4 is kind of that sweet spot. That's kind of where it's okay. And then you have doubles, and you have other stuff that you can do. I just think it's something that they're going to have to look at, man. And if Rescue's that, 5v5 is it. Again, I still say that's a lot of people to have on a team, trying to compete. But
to be fair, back in Battlefield 4, the squad versus squad game modes were 5v5, so it's kind of that carrying over from Battlefield 4.
Well, you gotta think of it too. Is if you make a game that's supposed to be competitive, it'll usually turn out bad.
Yeah, that is one of my biggest
If you make a game that's meant to be a competition game, like, oh yeah, we're making a sweet game, it's going to be at competitions everywhere, and that's how you create the game and market it, usually it's going to suck.
Well, but I don't, I mean, look at, Call of Duty was, in all intents and purposes, meant to be that. I mean, that's what their initial Call of Duty was kind of pushed out as, and that was what Call of Duty... When it went Black Ops, it was Modern Warfare. Is that the first one that came out?
Oh, 4 was the first major one.
Well, yeah, because you had Big Red one and all that, or whatever the other ones were prior to that. But I still think that one was very well marketed for multiplayer, and it really took it off to a whole other side. Battlefield, when you look at Battlefield 4, I mean, there was $1 million tournament right off the start of that thing releasing that was supposed to happen that never happened, right? And why didn't it happen? Because who knows? Part of the problem, I would say, is because of how big the game is, or how many people they got to have in the game. But anyway,
a lot of technical issues.
I don't want to beat up Battlefield for too long, but I just think that's they've got to look at that for the future. Not Hardline. Hardline's kind of set. I think this is going to be a great competitive advantage for them. But they've got to, when they move into the next Battlefield, man, it would almost be great to see a game come out that's Battlefield 4 and Hardline kind of together, and it gives the player the option to say, okay, hey, I can either do small base team type tactics stuff, which is 5v5 based stuff, and then I have my true, 64 player, 128 player, whatever based battles that you have, and I think that they'll have a win if they do that. If they don't do that, man, we're going to continue to keep pushing Battlefield and have no competitions like we have now, because we just really don't.
Well, then it's a shame that Battlefield Hardline wasn't some sort of mod or expansion pack for Battlefield 4, because then by that definition it would have been perfect.
Yeah, well, I mean, and you listen to people. I mean, and I say this. I'm not saying it's going to be perfect with, Battlefield Hard. I think it's good. It's a good move for them to change the way that their game dynamics are working. Especially Visceral. They're a different company. They have different thoughts on how it should go. I just think when Battlefield 5 comes out, if Battlefield Hardline does as good as I think it will, I think that when Battlefield 5 comes out, that they just need to kind of look at that. And all I'm saying, man, is give players options. That's all I want. That's why I love Call of Duty, man, because I can play zombies, I can do co-op, I can do single player, I can do doubles, I can do free for all. I got all these options that it doesn't matter if I only got one friend on. I can play Battlefield. Half the time I don't play Battlefield because I don't have 32 other people on my friends list that I can go in game with. And let me be honest with you, I hate getting beat. So So it's a very pushy thing for me, and part of the reason why I don't go into games and just play. I like to use teamwork, man, and it's very hard in Battlefield. But anyway, I know we got other news.
Yeah.
Liquid in the Twitch chat talked about having a 64v64 competitive thing. There's actually a group called Level BF, and they orchestrate not 64v64 because Battlefield doesn't support natively.
Right? They're doing 32s?
Unmodded, yeah. You can do 32v32, and they do that. They have big things where you actually get communities like what TG would be, where we have hundreds of members within the Battlefield division, and they orchestrate big 32v32 groups. And I know PlanetSide tried to do that because PlanetSide's had some massive things. They actually just recently, like within the last couple of weeks, set a world record, Guinness World Record, for having the largest FPS battle. And I think it was like 1,000-something people versus 1,000.
1,138 players.
And that was player-driven. And they originally had that record with regular PlanetSide, and they and the only game to beat it was a game that was made to beat it.
Oh.
A game was specifically made to beat that record. That's the only other game to beat the PlanetSide record was made to actually beat the record. It's kind of funny, but yeah.
So yeah, Level BF is still going to keep doing that, and I'm sure they'll delve into all the two smaller modes with the rescue mode that we were able to get a leak version of, and what's it? Crossfire, I think is the name of the other mode, where you have it's still 5v5, but one of the players is a VIP, and they're the one that's given like the golden gun, kind of. They get like this powerful pistol, and they're the VIP. If your VIP gets killed, then your team loses.
Yeah, it's basically the VIP game mode from Halo, effectively. So
I want to talk a little bit about before we move on. How is the class system in this game? Is it like
very balanced?
Is it balanced? Because that's the main thought.
It's more balanced than what it was in the alpha, because now you don't have everyone running around with RPGs blowing up every vehicle they see.
Really soon after.
So I am absolutely thrilled that they removed the RPG from the classes. But from my experience so far, it does seem pretty balanced. I mean, nothing's been so far askew. So.
Yeah, they've furthered the battle pickup system. Now LMGs are battle pickups. So now every class has the potential to grab LMGs. Same with the RPGs and for both like dumbfire for like the RPG and the small. Yeah, and the Strellas or the Stingers. Yeah, you can get them as battle pickups on the map, but you can also pick them up out of the trunk if you get that perk. Mm-hmm. So any class can get them, but you're very limited, and you can't resupply them with the ammo bags.
You have to wait till your car regenerates or it respawns.
Mm-hmm. They gave the spawn beacon to the mechanic class, which is in the past been the engineer class. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
And let's see, what else have they done? They've just the PDWs and the SMGs that the mechanic class have are crazy powerful.
Yeah, but they don't have much ammo, or they go through it really fast to balance out.
Yeah, I mean, the ones that do have a lot of ammo, they just deal very little damage. Like the P90 does.
It's gone in 2 seconds.
Yeah, the P90 though is crazy accurate. You showed the clip earlier, and there was a part where I'm just shooting it, and it just almost never moves. Granted, it has a heavy barrel on it to assist with that, but they've gone and revamped all of the weapons. The damage model's been changed. The way that attachments function the heavy barrel in BF4, almost nobody uses it because it tightens your bullet spread, but your recoil just goes way out the window with how much it increases. But in this one, it actually increases your bullet spread, or it improves your bullet spread, and it reduces your recoil. So it does like both of those good things. So I feel like that's going to become a primary but it only does it when you're standing still and aiming down sight. If you're hip firing, you don't get the perks. If you're moving, so it makes
the thought was if the barrel's heavier, it's going to be pulling down more than it is pulling up, so that makes a lot more sense. And it makes a lot of sense that you wouldn't get it if you're just hip firing because you're not steadying it. You're just going like this, going crazy.
Yeah. So they've made the game, while it is a faster pace. There's a real weird juxtaposition with Battlefield Hardline. It is a faster paced game with the way that the cars work, with all that
speeds.
With the movement speed it's still similar to what BF4 was, but everything does feel very, very fast. But because of the change in the time to kill, because the time to kill in most weapons is much quicker time to kill than in previous Battlefield games. And a lot of people say, oh, it's acting more like Call of Duty. It's the time to kill makes it a Call of Duty clone and things like that. And I don't see it like that. I see it as making it a very tactical shooter.
Yeah.
It makes it very similar to Insurgency.
For mistakes.
It makes it like Insurgency. It makes it like America's Army. It makes it somewhat like Arma because you have these high recoil weapons and then you've got that low time to kill. So you can't just run out into the open battlefield because you will get taken out quickly.
I was playing as the professional class when we were playing Heist or Bank Job, whatever it's called.
Just Heist on Bank Job.
Yeah. People, like, every sniper rifle in that game's like a 2-hit shot, like, if you don't get a headshot. Mm-hmm. And people just were, whenever people would come down the little alleyway or the roof I was watching, they would just get punished because the guns do so much damage in this. You really have to think, and I had them actually rush me, but I'm like, I'm sitting here with a pistol ready for you. They came out of the door opposite of me, so I got to shoot a sniper bullet into one of their skulls before I shot them with a pistol. It's like, this is what, like, I don't want to say you don't have to think in other Battlefield games, but you have to think more in this one. Like,
so
you will be punished if you actually turn that corner.
Yeah. So let's bring this to a final verdict. Are you buying the game or not? Go down the line.
Well, I can tell you, I'm not going to pre-order.
Yeah, don't pre-order. This isn't a pre-order question. This is.
Yeah.
I know, but are you going to buy it?
If I get a new graphics card, I'll buy it.
I'm going to buy the game for sure. But again, I'm not going to pre-order it. I'll let it come and then we'll get it.
I am probably going to wait a month or two to see like what the landscape of the launch is like, because we all know what happened with the netcode of Battlefield 4, and not to mention the insane controversy that happened with the launch being delayed of the Naval Strike DLC an hour before it was supposed to go live. Oh, God.
Yeah, as Gamer said, I already pre-ordered.
Yeah.
And if Premium or whatever the heck it's called was made available right now,
he'd buy it.
I'd buy it. I love the alpha. I've thoroughly enjoyed the beta. I'll still keep playing Battlefield 4 even when Hardline comes out. They're not mutually exclusive. A lot of people seem to always forget that once something new comes out that you can still go back and play the old stuff. I still log into Bad Company. I still log into Battlefield 2. I still log into 2142. There's still servers for 2142 going on, and there's hundreds of people on that at any given time during the day. So I'll still be playing those. And but no, I'm ready for Hardline. I love these new game modes. I love the changes they've made to the classes. Being able to actually go up and grab an ammo pack from somebody without them having to actually drop it. I mean, all the changes, the fine-tuning, the performance increases. I have no problem getting 144 hertz while gaming at 1440p, which is not many games I can say that about. A lot of them I have to drop them down to 1080 to be able to get 140 constant frames. So, yeah, the game is just, I'm excited for it. I can't wait to the 24th. And GTA 5 also comes out on that same day, so I'll be very, very occupied come March 24th.
Yeah, because we got our little heist team to do, so that's going to be fun.
Okay. Well, moving on to our other main discussion topic of the day. Are you back with us, DBO?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah, he was talking a minute ago.
So, this is, before I get on this topic has already been rectified. There's already been a public statement in response from the company. But a all-female tournament, I think that was taking place in the Philippines. within the rules, it said you can only have one gay lesbian.
You never did say what game this is for.
It's for League of Legends. So
There you go.
is not a tournament run by Riot. This is by one of their affiliates who runs tournaments. There was a all-female tournament, and this is not the controversy. It's completely normal to have all-female tournaments. In all of pro gaming's history, there's only been one actual pro-female esports gamer, and that was for StarCraft 2. I don't know if you remember her name. So these aren't this isn't the controversy. This is normal. This is a normal thing that happens in the gaming industry. The controversy is that if you are a lesbian, or you are gay, or you are transgendered, and you identify yourself as female, your team is only allowed to have one person that signifies as one of those. So that's the controversy. This has already been rectified. It's already been fixed, but it's really weird to see how this would be a very specific thing. Like, what would be their thought behind it, I guess? Like,
I mean, I'll tell you this, is that, for me, it doesn't really matter. I mean, it's almost the same that you can't have, I mean, and I know that they fixed it, right? And it's kind of like this so are you telling me that I can't have a team that has half females and half dudes? You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter.
The controversy is that you couldn't have more than one person who is lesbian or transgendered who identified as a female.
Well, you're leaving out a big piece of that article, and the reason they made that restriction is because they thought that these other self-identification people had some advantage.
They'd be like more masculine than just if I was like a regular female.
Until there is so this is like football, baseball, basketball, all the other sports out there. Until you can prove to me that they have better skills, I just don't even think this is a discussion.
Well, here's the thing. In video games, it doesn't matter what sexuality or what your
other means of
preference
self-identification
is of people. Yeah. With video games, there is no physical limit. It's all brain power and stuff that you can actually, finger movements, all that stuff. There isn't anything like in football where a 100-pound guy who's probably like 25% muscle weight going against a 100-pound girl who's like 5. It's not like that. But I think that was their decision, was that if
there's a study that came out that said men have better eyesight and hand coordination,
then they might have a little bit of context,
then there would be
iffy.
I don't know. I think if you get in game with the male to female thing, I think if you got in game, I've been against some of the best male players we have in Tactical Gaming, and then I've been with some of the best female players. And either way, I don't know if they're male or female. All I know is I'm dying a lot. So
Rogue's one of the members on the video team, and so I'm watching all of her submissions for Call of Duty, and she does a lot of Titanfall stuff and whatnot, and she's got some solid gameplay.
Yeah. So hey, Clammy, Hazy. I mean, look, we have a lot. I mean, to me, man, this is just it's a non-discussion. I think it's a decision that they made that I'm not going to get into because we're bordering on our rules and regs here. But what I will tell you is that I just think it's ridiculous that you would have any issues with somebody's
you have to specify that.
I just don't understand it.
To me, I mean, like, I'm not a coordinator for tournaments. I manage a stream and manage time slots, but I can see where they were going with this, because whenever you have, like, an all-female tournament, it is weird already to most people, because you're like, all-female, that's kind of sexist. But in the end, it's to get more people involved in the game than it is to block people out. But in this case, they chose to... I think their thought, like I said before, the thought is that if you were transgendered, gay, or a lesbian, and you entered the tournament, you would have some advantage because you were less feminine.
Yeah, but I would also say in that world, I mean, you said it's from Philippines, right?
I think it was in the Philippines.
Okay, so just understand from that world, which is a little bit different than the United States, that area of the world.
That made sense. That made more sense there. But
for there, I mean, that's kind of normal. I mean, that's a normal thing for sexual transitions between male and female. So maybe that's part of why they chose to put that out, especially if they're trying to do an all-female ran a tournament, which is fine, man. And I'm not holding it against them. I mean, at the end of the day, each culture is different. Us as Americans, we look at it and go, oh my gosh, I can't believe they're doing that. But the reality is that, for them, that's normal. I mean, they deal with that with a lot of other stuff that has nothing to do with gaming on a daily basis. So
it has since been removed, so now any player who identifies as a female will be allowed to participate. But my thought is that what if I want to be in that tournament? I could just dress up as a female and say I'm a female.
There's a little more to it than that.
Well, yeah. But basically, that's what some people were thinking that they were thinking. That some guy would just throw on a wig and dress and fake breasts and be like, ha 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 ha, how are you guys today?
It's not going to be that blatantly easy.
No, but that's what people were thinking. That's what a lot of people.
That's what they can think.
Is
but
that
that's
what
not
they
the reality.
were thinking? Like that's us thinking what they were thinking.
That's just ignorance.
It's a weird thing to get into. I mean, I wouldn't want to be the person to have to decide who gets in on a female tournament.
Yeah, don't really care. But what I do want to know is, when is Zombies coming for PlayStation, for Call of Duty?
They said it's in a month.
So
the 27th of this month?
26th of February, you'll be getting your Zombie fix.
Yeah.
And so will PC.
Okay, well, let me just tell you, I got a little bit of heartache with Xbox players. Look, in Xbox, but I had a little heartache here. It's kind of the same thing, Battlefield. Hey, let me release it on this platform before this platform. But I mean, come on, man.
Yeah, those exclusive deals.
You got to understand that deal has been in place since what, 2007?
I know, but still, it gets irritating over a while, man. You're just like, good lord, man. Just because look, the only person you're hurting. Well, I understand why the platform guys are doing it. Hey, PlayStation, Microsoft. Hey, good job. Thank you. Because now I'm like, if I want to play it 30 days sooner, people are going to go out and buy their system just because they want to play the game. But, you're hurting the consumer, man. At the end of the day, spread the wealth. Just put it out there and let people buy it. So I'm a little envious of the Xbox players right now. Let me just tell you that.
It is interesting to think of because that's something that comes out of competition. That's two companies competing.
Yeah,
and typically competition ends up helping the consumer.
Yeah.
But in these cases, these exclusive deals, I mean, Microsoft's still doing it. So obviously, from all the research that they're doing and looking at their data, they're showing that this is paying off. The millions of dollars that they're having to pay Activision, or when it comes to EA for the things for Battlefield, obviously their data showing that, hey, the millions of dollars we're paying you is helping out in the end. But I don't know.
It's tough for me, man. I mean, every time we do this,
if it makes you feel any better, Battlefield gets priority on PlayStation. So
no, and I know, and I think that's just as wrong, man. I mean, at the end of the day, just release it. I mean, again, it's about the consumer. I mean, this is kind of like the pre-order thing.
Well, at the end of the day, it's not about the consumer; it's about money.
Well, that's the problem. The problem is that they've taken it away from being about me and you, the guys that are buying the game, to them. And listen, man, you just look at the statistics. They are making billions of dollars. I can understand if they're only making a couple 100,000, right? But I mean, they're making ridiculous money. And I know it's only 30 days. I shouldn't whine about it. But it upsets me a little bit when I got people posting up videos because I'm going to watch them. And then it just makes me even madder. Because I can't be in there killing zombies with TG people. A little upsetting.
That's the other thing is back in the day when they were doing those deals like for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 or whatever, it was like, Xbox guys, you get it on the 20th. PlayStation and PC guys, you'll get it on the 27th. It was only like a 1 week delay. Now it's a month, which is crazy to think that it's a month that you got to wait.
This is the same thing, kind of like the. I know we're going to go on this subject too, but the exclusivity of all these things. Now you look at kind of like the Nintendo deal with the YouTube creation program.
Oh my God! Don't even get me started on this.
Yeah, but there's more. We're going to talk about it again because some more stuff has come about it. It's even worse.
Yeah, but here's the thing: is again, this is just another example, man, of just like what? Why? I mean, I don't know what you guys think about it, but please, I want to hear it.
Well, here's what I can say on the exclusivity part of this thing with, things like deals and DLC being available and hell, even entire games being available.
That's my
No,
comment.
Normally that is my answer, but just in regards to this whole thing, the problem with the games industry is there's billions of dollars to go around, and pretty soon it is going to be a $100 billion industry. Everybody wants a slice of that pie. So as you can imagine, money really talks, and when huge publishers or console manufacturers are able to dish out money to say, hey, can you put this DLC on our console first? Or, hey, can you put this game only on our console for the next 5 years or whatever? If you can put the money forward, they will absolutely say yes to you, because I do not know of a single developer or publisher up to this point that has said no to exclusive money. Because it's guaranteed right then and there. You're not taking any risk by relying on sales or any kind of marketing or pre-order data. It's right there in front of you. It's guaranteed return for the work you just put in. So, and unfortunately, there's not much we can do about it, except for voting with our wallets.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it'd be great if exclusives weren't a thing. It would. But then again, then we might not have consoles. I mean, that might be good for PC gamers, but for those of y'all who really like consoles, y'all would be lost, I guess. I don't know how I'd put that, but
I mean, there's definitely a pendulum. I mean, it's like, do you want console games? It's like, yeah, you don't want to have console games because then me as a PC exclusive, well, I'm not a PC exclusive gamer, but I'm saying if I were a exclusive PC gamer, I wouldn't be able to play God of War unless you're using emulation. But I wouldn't be able to play God of War, Uncharted, MotorStorm, you know, all those PC, PS3 and PS4 exclusives. If on Xbox, you know, I can't play Gears of War, Fable, even though some of those have been on the PC. You know, there's certain ones it's exclusive, so it's a bummer for me that I can't get access to those. But then it comes down to like, well, if they didn't have exclusives, then what's the point of having a PS4, a Wii U, an Xbox One, a PC? It's like
but
almost
I think
like
you're hitting on the head, Craig. Is that there's a difference in my mind of an exclusive, right? An exclusive to me is like what you said. You know, it's like having God of War or Gears of War. But when you have a game that is coming on all consoles, okay, that is when I have an issue. Because understand, from a developer side point, the developer may only have enough money to develop for that one system. And that's normally why exclusives come. You know, they only have so much money. They go to the different – because they go to all of them. They're going to go to Microsoft. They're going to go to PlayStation. And PlayStation may give them a better bid. So they say, okay, hey, we're going to make this exclusive to PlayStation. I'm good with that because I'm not like dangling this carrot out in front of you saying, hey, this great game's out, but you're going to have to wait 30 days or 60 days to play it on all the other consoles, even though it's coming out. I mean, that to me is where I get it, you know, it irritates me. Not so much that there's exclusive titles for games, because if that was the case, I'd be upset that I can't play Mario, you know, which is the best game of all time, but I can't play Mario, you know.
So what you're saying is you'd rather have it either come out for every system on the same day at the same time, or just not have it come out on the other systems at all?
Well, no. What I'm saying is, if like Zombies is just an example of one of those.
If it's exclusive, it should be exclusive.
Yeah, if it's exclusive,
if it's timed exclusive, it shouldn't be there.
Yeah. So either have it come out on the same day or don't come out at all.
Well, let's not say don't have it all come out at all.
Don't have it come out at all. That's kind of bad for everyone.
Yeah. Let's just say it should all come out at the same day. This is my personal opinion. This isn't, you know, each one of you are going to disagree or agree, but, you know, this is my personal opinion.
For timed exclusives, I think it depends on a game-by-game basis. Like, if that content wouldn't have been created unless somebody throw the money in there,
Bayonetta 2.
Then I'm fine with that. Like, if like, let's say COD Zombies didn't come out unless PlayStation gave them $200,000 or whatever, well, that's fine. I'm getting content and I have to wait a month to get it. Oh, big whoop.
Try
if
200
it was content
million.
that's like, yeah, we're making this content, and then Sony comes along like $200,000. They're like, okay, 1 month.
Well, try.
Then you also have,
but you get the idea.
Then you also have cases where you have things like premium and whatnot, where people that buy Battlefield Premium get the new DLC when it comes out a week in advance. But for me, that's totally cool because you gave them that money, you gave that developer, you gave that publisher money then and there. That's helping them out because money today is worth more than money next week. If you guys are into financial things, money today is worth a lot more than money today. So if you give them $50 on this day, then that's worth a lot more to them than the 15 that you give them next month, the 15 you give them next month, that adds up to 50, because that money is worth more. They can invest it. They're going to be making money off of that initial 50 that you give them. So that helps a company out from a financial perspective. So they compensate you for that. They want that money now in that one big chunk rather than 15 here, 15 there, 15 there. They want that 50 all at once, as early as they can get it, because then they can use that $50. So I'm totally cool with something like premium, but that's an option. Whether you have Battlefield on PC or that's different consoles.
Well, I think you just said it. Give me the option, man. And Craig, that is it right there. Hey, I'm fine with exclusive, man, but give me the option as a PlayStation gamer that if I want to have zombies the day it releases, if I want to pay $15 or whatever, man, I can pay the money. Just don't make it where it's like this complete, because all you do is you push all the, I mean, look, how many PlayStation Call of Duty competitions go on? None. You know why? Because I go out and buy an Xbox to play Call of Duty because I know it's going to come, you know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. It's just very weird to me how it kind of goes.
Well, I think part of the reason, though, that premium has been so successful is because, sure, you can buy it and you'll get like the DLC like 2 weeks early, say, for example. And the best part about it is that 2 weeks is non-discriminatory to any platform. So if you buy premium on PS3, you'll get the DLC 2 weeks before regular users on PS3. If you buy it for PC, you'll get it 2 weeks before the PC users. And it's the same across every platform. So it's not like, oh, if you buy the Xbox premium, you'll get it like a month before everyone else. And if you buy it on the PC, you'll get it maybe a week before everyone else. So it doesn't discriminate or chunk it out like that. So
yeah. Okay. Well, I only got a few more minutes. So what other stuff, Echo, did you want to chat about?
We'll get to our last major topic, and then we'll take a break so you can disappear. So there's more light on the Nintendo controversy. For those of you who didn't catch last week's, or the week before. We talked about the new Nintendo brand deal where you partner with them and you're allowed to play Nintendo games. It's a really bad deal. Don't do it unless you don't care about making money. If you're just a guy who wants to play it and make a little bit of money, fine. But if you're like, I want to do this for a job, stay away from Nintendo still. But basically, one of the deals was that you can partner your channel, which means you don't have to go up to them every single time, be like, hey, I'm uploading this YouTube, I need you to look at it. They'll automatically look at your video. But the thing is if you partner your channel with Nintendo, you can only have Nintendo content. You can't play Call of Duty on that channel. You can't play Battlefield on that channel. You're not allowed to. The video will not be uploaded to your channel. They will take the video down, or they will cancel your partnership. Yeah.
I don't think that's
But there's no way that you can do. I mean, here's the thing, though. You can't legally. As long as I don't monetize the video, if I don't monetize that video, you cannot tell me I can't upload.
Legally, if you want your channel to be a partner Nintendo channel, and you upload a Battlefield video, and they ask you to remove it, and you don't remove it, they will unpartnership you. Nintendo
and that's fine. Yeah,
they've got two different schemes though. You get 60% if you do other non-Nintendo things.
No, there's one.
That's if you submit videos individually. If you partner your entire channel, then you can't upload any different videos.
The Nintendo partnership is basically what we originally thought was, yeah, you're going to do a lot of Nintendo content. Like, this is going to be a main part of your channel, but it's not going to be the only part. With the deal, with the 70-30% deal, you can only put Nintendo content on this specific channel while you're partnered with us.
But see, here's a way around that.
You can just make a different channel, yeah.
Yeah, you can just make a separate channel.
But then you have that problem of growing another viewer base, which is already hard enough with everyone throwing their hat into the YouTube and now the Twitch scene.
Oh, video game content isn't a saturated market.
No. There's just about 10 other podcasts going on about video games right now.
Only 10?
Only 10? Try 100.
No, I mean right at this second, there's probably about 10.
No, there's probably 100.
There's a lot of companies out there that do podcasts, so...
But, I mean, here's the thing. When it comes to single-channel YouTubers and Let's Players, whatever you want to call them, this is Nintendo holding a metaphorical gun to their head, because if you put any other content onto your channel that isn't on that whitelist of Nintendo products, which I will mention, by the way, doesn't include Smash Brother games, Pokemon games, or any of the Bayonetta games. So
Yeah,
Nintendo isn't even allowing its own
most
content.
popular game not be able to have, like, they just sponsored Apex. That's like,
Yeah. So aside from the fact that they're isolating their own content, if you upload any other gameplay video, you're suddenly unpartnered with these guys, and you'll no longer receiving any revenue from any of the videos you previously uploaded, as well as the ones you have just currently uploaded.
and Craig, let's say you want to do the Nintendo channel partnership. You have to remove every single video on your channel before they'll accept you. Every single non-Nintendo video on your channel.
Just
Yeah,
make
I
a new
think so.
channel. It's
Man,
not worth
I
it. Just make a new channel.
Yeah, but here's the thing, man, is that what I really think this is, you know, in this flooded market, as, you know, Craig was so generously put, for guys that are just starting off, guys and girls that want to do YouTubing, you know, that are just Nintendo people, because there is hardcore Nintendo people. I mean, this may be fine for them. The reality is that everybody is kind of going to these networks now because you really don't have a choice. I mean, and it's kind of like us from a TG perspective. You know, we chose
But
we chose
this
freedom.
isn't an MCN. This is just like a
Yeah,
brand
and-
deal.
Yeah, and I know that, but just understand from how Nintendo kind of represents this, and for some, you know, kid that's making Nintendo videos, he doesn't know any better. All
Yeah.
the big YouTube guys are out there going, oh, don't do it. Well, yeah, man, because you're partnered with YouTube 100% directly, which most people can't even get to. Hey, man, if old boy that's playing Nintendo game wants to bite onto this and do it, you know, whatever. I mean, I don't know, man. I think it's a horrible deal for us because we all play various games, but I can't talk about other people.
To play Super Smash on my channel. Like, I don't do much on my YouTube channel currently, but I would love to be able to just play Super Smash, but you can't. It's like
Nintendo will take it down.
Nintendo will claim the revenue, or they'll take it down, or some other. It's a hit. Like, it's weird. Like, there's content creators who want to do content, but Nintendo's like.
Wait a minute,
Maybe.
hold on. I just thought of a reason as to why they may not want Smash Brothers content up. Because they contain Sega characters.
That has nothing to do with it. They gave
No, but I'm
they gave
just
the
saying
rights
it
to
could.
the character to be in the game.
No, but
Nintendo's
it
just
could be a
out of-
possible
remember-
like, promotion thing.
Nintendo's weird.
Remember, one of the guys at Nintendo that made the campaign for Smash Bros. Brawl on the Wii said that because YouTube videos were going up showing that off.
Oh yeah.
That's why he didn't. That's why there is
They
no
didn't
single
want to
player
ruin
campaign.
the story of Smash Bros.
Nintendo just their mindset, their culture is very different than a lot of other developers' mindsets and cultures, and so they don't have. Look at how long it took Nintendo, the company as a whole, for their consoles just to get online multiplayer gaming somewhat like it's.
Yeah, I agree. They're going to catch up, man. They're going to figure it out.
Yeah, they just got to catch up. I mean, they had Wii friend codes for the Wii. Like, yes, the Wii had online, but you had that whole friend code thing because they just don't grasp like how open things need to be. They want to have a lot of control on their products, just like Sony and Microsoft. Consoles are a very control environment. You can't upgrade, and I mean you can upgrade the hard drive,
without
but
spending X amount of money.
yeah, they're very controlled environments, and Nintendo is just much more so. They've got IPs that they really want to make sure. You know, there's a lot of controversy around when developers don't allow mod support for PC games because they want the game to be played how they intended it, and so that's kind of how it is for Nintendo. It's not only do they want the games to be played the way it's intended, but they want them to be experienced and viewed a very specific way. They don't want someone to go on play Smash online and do stupid things because they're going to think that people see this and think that their game is a stupid game. Like that's somewhat what their mindset is. They want to control not just the way you play it, but the way you consume it outside of actually playing it. So they're getting there. They're getting there. So this is a step up. At least they're letting people make content.
Like,
for
the
Nintendo
hope
games.
is that they do this, and then they are like, okay, this is pretty okay, and then they open the floodgate. That's the hope.
Yeah, they'll see how good free PR
is if other companies follow suit in this kind of tactic.
Mm-hmm.
Which, if it does, there'll be a lot less people doing gameplay.
Well, but yeah, but you already had a company follow suit well before Nintendo, and that was Microsoft. I mean, so it isn't like, they didn't do the partnership thing. But just by you putting your content on YouTube.
No, but they came out with guidelines now about
Yeah.
how,
but what I'm saying is that initial push by Microsoft, and it's the same thing Nintendo just did. They come out with the initial, hey, you can't put anything on YouTube, basically. I mean, there was almost a ban there initially. Then you had this crazy YouTube followers were like, no, man, it's not fair. We can't put Halo and all these other games up. And then it slowly started to change where the guidelines changed. Yes, you can make money off of our content, but this is how it has to be. I mean, there was just a variation from when it first released to what the actual end state was.
yeah.
And I think it'll be the same way for Nintendo.
I thought it was just with Microsoft. They allowed like virtually 99% of all videos to stay up and monetize. It was just you couldn't do any things like glitching the game
They got the revenue, that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
well, but it was like very specific stuff. Like you couldn't make pornography out of it. You couldn't show game-breaking glitches with it. It was.
Yeah, I don't know how you.
It's YouTube thing. It's Nintendo things. At the end of the day, Nintendo's that one weird company right now.
that one stepchild.
They're catching up.
So is that all you have time for us with BBL?
Let me look at something real quick. I do want to, just because I found this subject interesting, because I have a GTX 970, and it's something that Craig put up. I'd be interested to kind of hear, just kind of what that article was about. I mean, I kind of cruised over it, but what was that thing about, Craig?
So yeah, recently it was discovered that the GTX 970 from NVIDIA, which is advertised as having 4 gigabytes of video RAM, it does have 4 gigabytes of RAM. It's just 3.5 of it is as it was for the most part advertised, and then 500 megabytes of it is a much slower clock, not as powerful RAM. So when you're cranking things, if you're gaming at 1080p and you're just playing things on Ultra, that's nothing. But if you're somebody who is using their dynamic super resolution, which is where the game actually renders at a crazy high resolution and then formats it to your native resolution, or if you're actually gaming on a native 4K monitor, that draws a lot more video RAM from your card. And so these people that are gaming at 4K resolutions and also running the game at ultra settings, which those textures when they're on ultra, that's a lot of high resolution textures, so that draws a lot. So these people were actually getting it to that 3.5 and over range. And that means that the card would now divert all that video processing to the slower 500 megabytes, and people's frame rates would start to drop, and they were not getting the performance that they expected from a 4 gig card. Well, the internet exploded like it always does. Anything that's controversial on the internet these days blows up and gets talked about way too much. And everybody, there was a vocal minority, and they were talking, I want a refund. I'm going to move to AMD. NVIDIA, you're worse than Hitler. All those typical threats that you see on the internet. And now that the time has passed and they've had the refund programs and people have, the dust has settled, and reports are coming through that the rate of return for the people that actually have returned their 970 for money back, or they want to get a different card, go down to a 960, go up to a 980, I just want my money back, I'm going with AMD, the actual rate of return is less than 5%. So of course, like the internet, typically, the threats and everything make it sound like 75% of the people are enraged and they're returning their cards and things like that, and it ends up being less than 5%. So because the card still is the best bang for your buck, it is incredibly powerful for the price range. Again, if you're gaming at the card that I have is a GTX 780, not the TI version. I only have 3 gigs, and I'm gaming at 1440p, which is, 77% more pixels than a 1080p monitor. So I'm gaming at almost twice the resolution of most PC gamers. 1080 is still the most common resolution for PC.
And that 5% could just be regular returns.
It would include typical, but that's a small amount.
Yeah,
the amount of people that do returns.
Like 5%, like that to me seems like a defect amount of cards. That doesn't seem to me like there's this blast against because 500 of it is different than the other 3.5.
Yeah. So yeah, it's still a great bang for your buck if you guys are looking to get into PC gaming. Well, if you're looking to get into it, your best bet if you're going for like more budget range would probably be the 960 because that's only a $190 to $200, possibly $210 card.
It's marketed as the MOBA card.
Yeah, it's got 2 gigs of RAM on it. I mean, it'll 1080, 1920 by 1080. Yeah, it's great for that. But if you do want to go to like higher frame rates, if you aren't happy with 60 frames per second and you want to do your shooters in over 60, which it's amazing, then yeah, the 970 is a great option. And if you want to go 4K and still get like 100 frames, which probably wouldn't happen, there's not even any monitors out there that really support that. But then you want to go to that 980 level. But it's still a great card. The thermal on it, it doesn't overheat. It's great for overclocking, and you still get all the perks when you go with NVIDIA over AMD. You get far better driver support. Like every time a new game comes out, NVIDIA's like, yep, here's the driver for it. AMD's like, has it been 2 months? Yep. All right, let's come out with a driver. So you get that great driver support. You get things like shadow play. You can record your games with maybe 1 frame hit. You've got the anti-aliasing that they do. You've got PhysX, which is the greatest thing since sliced bread. You got G-Sync, which, while more expensive than something like FreeSync, the performance and quality is better. So it's still a great card, and I think that's why the return rate is that low. People like to be a victim. Everybody likes to be a victim. You get attention. People like to be a part of something. So if there's a lot of victims, they want to be with that group of a lot of people. They just like to. That's why everybody. Hey, I did hashtag.
Gamergate. Yeah.
Hashtag Gamergate. Hashtag hashtag
yeah.
Fight for Ferguson or whatever all these hashtags are.
Let's not bring that up.
It makes someone, they're now a part of that. They've become an activist in that thing, and people just like to be part of something. It's just people like to be part of something, a groupthink, and so that's what it was. It was mostly a lot of people just talking, spouting things out, and they get to be a part of something. They get to be the victim. They're the one being hurt upon, and they're sticking it to the man. But then the time comes to it. So, do you guys actually want to box up your product, send it to us, get a new one, get a refund? And they're like,
pay for shipping back.
But the card, I'm still being able to game at 1440p with 140 frames per second on ultra settings. It's like, yeah. Because my card that's weaker,
Good job.
yeah, my card that's weaker than the 970 is gaming at 1440p, getting way over 100 frames per second. I'm gaming at ultra. I've got PhysX going. I've got shadow play. I'm still getting all that good stuff. And that 970 is cheaper than the card that I have. Yeah. It's more powerful. It's cheaper. It's better at overclock. I mean, it's all that stuff. It still is a great card. So that's just yet another case of the internet blowing things way out of proportion, and people, when it comes time to actually acting upon what they're talking about, when they're putting their mouth where their money is, it's like, it's still a good card. I'm happy with it. So yeah, less than 5%. So yeah, DBL. Once we get your power supply fixed and whatever the issue that's draining you there, then yeah, you're good with that 970. Unless it actually starts like smoke coming out of it, you should be fine.
Well, the interesting thing. Because again, I'm not a PC guy, and this should be comical for you. What I didn't know is that on the case, when you look at it, one side of it has like a vent, right? Like I guess that's where it's supposed to.
Oh
breathe.
boy!
Okay,
I know where this is going.
So in my infinite wisdom, of course, I have that side against my desk because it's underneath my desk against the desk leg. So here we are, I'm looking at the heat, man. I'm trying to figure it out. It keeps shutting off. And then last night, my son actually was like, "Hey, there's this open spot on the side of the computer," and I'm like, "Oh, there's a fan there too. Hey, maybe we should move it to the other side." So he played last night for I think for 2 or 3 hours at high system, and it did not shut down.
Oh, okay. So all right.
So I don't know that the wattage isn't still an issue there, and there's something weird going on with that. But I do have a feeling that this was a case of operator error, which it pretty much always is.
It happens. Everybody has issues with their first computer build. I mean, I remember the first few computers that I was building back in the day. I was having to learn all the things and figure out what I was plugging components into the wrong things. When GPUs came out that required actual 2 6-pin connectors for the power supply,
and you were like, "Where do I get these?"
I thought it was like, oh, we get to pick which one it goes into. And I plugged one of the 6 pins in. This is when I got the first one I ever had. It was the GTX 8800 from NVIDIA, $650 card that I bought. And yeah, that was the first one I had ever had that had 2 6-pin connectors. I was like, because power had never been that high for cards. And so yeah, I plugged one in. I was getting crappy performance. And yeah, I eventually, after doing some research, found out that, oh, that's required. I'm only giving it half the power it needs.
I feel like I'm the only person here who didn't screw up their first build.
Oh yeah.
I
Well,
haven't had
nowadays it's there's so many tools out there. There's so many YouTube guides. Nvidia's got that Nvidia Garage thing. They've got and they even break it down like this is for novice. This is for journeyman level. This is for I am like the world's smartest person and I want to make this highly complex computer that's built inside of my desk and the water cooling is like connected to my house's water supply. It's like they've got all these guides out there. It's just so easy to find information nowadays.
I was gonna say, to be fair, I had like 2 or 3 years of preparation plus helping my brother build his gaming computer, so I kind of had that foreknowledge of how to make the PC and how to make it work.
I think the problem, man, is like for me, I went to Craig obviously. Well, really, I went to the community and posted something up saying, hey, I want to upgrade my computer because it's kind of like recording videos. I got to get with Craig because I really, with the RAM that he had me purchase and the video card, I mean, it was already, I bought a computer that was already pretty much put together, but it was already a really good computer. And then adding those two, I mean, now it's wonderful. The problem is I don't really understand how to, because I'm not that kind of guy. For me, it's easy, man. I got a capture card, or now with PlayStation, all I got to do is hit the record button. It puts out phenomenal picture, well, good enough for me, and I'm good. But it seems like when I record on PC, it's not that good. But I know it's me. And I'm telling you, when I go online and I look at the videos to try to figure out how to do it, it's just like everybody has different ways, and then when you go to their channel, like you're not even impressed with the video that you're looking at. I'm like, dude, I'm not taking your advice when I go look at your video, man. And I can't even see the people running across the screen.
Their footage makes Battlefield look like Minecraft. It's
just horrible. But I got to take off, guys. I just want to answer a couple questions that were popped up here on the thing. And of course, if you three have a question at the end, I'll give you an opportunity.
And after this, we'll take a quick break to reset up everything.
Okay, so the first question that I had here was now I got to find it. That's perfect. There's all kinds of typings here.
I thought you put everything in the Skype thing.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking at. Hey, it hasn't moved yet.
No,
okay,
when is your next video coming out?
Was when the next video is coming out. That video will be coming out here probably in the next 2 to 3 days. So at the beginning of next week, you'll see that thing pop out. That's going to become a series. Yeah, it's going to be Doubles Inbox. That thing will continue to go the way it's going. I'm going to change that a little bit. Craig's about to find out. It's kind of the video team head now, focused on videos. He'll be on one of those episodes as well. I'll be collaborating a little bit more with the video team guys. So if you're in a video team, just be expecting me to suck you in. It's going to take a little bit different approach than this podcast, which I absolutely love. And I love that you guys are doing this, and it'll continue to be. This is more focused on just life in general. So it can be on questions on PC-based stuff that Craig knows, or just, me and life in general. So we'll get that thing popped out here in a couple days. So keep asking your questions if you guys want to. Hobo asked who my favorite person in tactical gaming is, and I don't have a favorite person, Hobo. Thank you for asking. But since you asked, it's got to be you. It's you, Hobo. Okay? So maybe that'll make you feel better. Hey, Echo, Craig.
You're going to go cry.
Hey, Echo and Craig, don't tell Hobo, but you guys are my favorite too.
Okay, I'll keep it a secret.
The other couple things to just talk about real quick is so Sunday, for those that are in here, please spread it across the community. We're gonna, we've partnered with Battle Buddy Apparel. Battle Buddy Apparel is mine, just so everybody knows. It's my kind of push forward. Part of that is because we were not getting good deals on apparel throughout all the other companies. So Spreadshirt and Zazzle and all these other places, I mean, you guys were literally paying $35 for a T-shirt, and that's just ridiculous. So at this point, you're paying right about anywhere between $17 and $18 for a T-shirt, and that is a very good quality T-shirt. Okay, so and there's going to be other things we're going to add, coins, patches, and all the other stuff to kind of help the community.
Hats.
Yep, hats are coming.
I need a hat for that infomercial thing.
I got beer steins. There's all kinds of stuff that we're going to put in there over time. It's just kind of getting everybody kind of wound up, taking it from where it's at now, putting it into the kind of the new feature. So you'll see that coming. The fitness thing, I see a lot of fitness stuff going on inside of the community or questions. You have a lot of good. Look, I'm a military guy, so 20 years of doing fitness, but my fitness may be different than the type of fitness you probably want to do. Mine's rolling left, rolling right, doing push-ups, sit-ups, and just crushing your body. But got a lot of guys inside of the community that know that. You have Don't Crush Me Bro, which is another kind of side part. It's a very cool site just to get workouts. If you want to work out, Hobo, don't be scared, man. Hey, that guy that's coming today from your college, go ahead and take him over there and do some physical fitness with him. But you have that kind of stuff going on for you guys. What other stuff? Did you get any of you three have questions?
Yeah, we need a podcast shirt.
Oh man, I already gave you my questions for your DBL's inbox.
Yep,
No,
so
but I was gonna say, DBL, you mentioned you were gonna be doing some more stuff with the video team. I just realized We have Craig, the video team head, Echo, the stream team lead, and me, the gameplay and commentary team lead. So you effectively have all 3 video team heads right here in one Skype chat.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
and you guys know from the pro meeting last week, I think Echo was the only one not there, right? I think you two, the other 2 guys were there.
I think,
Yeah,
so.
no big deal. But that thing, yes, please. That thing, the push forward for the community as a whole is going to be videos and streaming. And this podcast is part of that. You know, we are a little bit behind from a community standpoint of getting out there on those. Example to me, and I tell Craig this all the time, is I watch Craig's video, this podcast. I mean, the podcast now has 25 people, which is great, but we have 2,000 people in the community. So my assumption would be that 25 would be better at 200, because you always say about 10% of the people you have in the community should be actively watching. So that's kind of what we need to work on, is that we need to get Craig's videos up into the thousands of views and stuff like that to really, and that's for all video team members. And that's the push that we're going to have as a community. And then, of course, we're going to be doing only, our division-based stuff as well. So you will definitely see that. The commentary-based stuff, you have the gaming league site that came out. I mean, that is an interior tactical gaming site right now. Of course, we're letting other people kind of come in. Those other people that come in, I don't want randoms. I don't want, Jimmy Snuffy from, down the block coming in. I want other large community and clans to come in to where we have the ability to play other people that are like-minded like us, that want to come in and play a Battlefield event 32 times 32, and we've got 7 other clans out there that are doing that as well. So that's really the kind of push there. And from a commentary standpoint, we want to start seeing commentary over these videos, especially when it comes to these major events for the finals and stuff like that. So you're going to see that kind of stuff coming here in the coming weeks as well. Anything else you guys can think of? Any other questions? Craig, don't be shy, man. If you guys have a question, ask it up.
I think you just answered a lot of it.
What is your bank account routing number?
Okay, well, how much money are you going to send me first?
Negative $1,000.
Tables turned.
Yeah. So
he wants a new GPU.
Yeah, we'll look at the podcast shirts. I mean, that's not all you do is.
I was only joking.
Hey, but there's nothing wrong with getting you guys podcast shirts, especially since it seems to be the same couple people on there. I mean, obviously, guests like me. I mean, all you're going to see is that Far Cry picture anyway for at least another 2 months. But for people, you can do it. Go ahead, Craig.
Where would you like to see Far Cry go? Because obviously, Far Cry 3, Far Cry 4, pretty darn simple. A lot of Ubisoft, they've got a very standard formula right now. So where would you like to see them take Far Cry? Whether it be the setting, whether it be the gameplay, what do you want to see for Far Cry go? Because I'm a big Far Cry fan. I loved Blood Dragon. Like that little change that they did, I fell in love with Blood Dragon. That's probably my favorite Far Cry game, with Far Cry 1 being at a close second. But I mean, where would you like to see them take?
Hey, I don't think there's anywhere they could take it that would be bad. I mean, if they keep the basis of what Far Cry is that they've kind of kept since the beginning, I have been over impressed with them for every Far Cry that comes out. And again, it's a different type of different type of game. The multiplayer piece of it has never really caught on. I mean, we did have Far Cry 2 was actually pretty good. I mean, back then we actually had a division. It was running pretty well. But I don't know that there's anywhere they could take it, Craig, that I wouldn't enjoy, honestly. I think they did a really good job on Far Cry 4. I really like the basis of the game. As long as they keep it open world like they have now, bro, I'm good with it. They could take it to Russia for all I care. I mean, as long as they keep that open world kind of feel, the mountainous. I love that there's snow. You got mountains, Sasquatch. I mean, I love that about that game. And as long as they keep that, it's good. I love the co-op portion, although I haven't had a lot of opportunity to get other people on PS4 in there with me to do co-op. That part of it is just love it. I mean, that's what I enjoy about gaming.
Yeah, I love the co-op in Far Cry 4. I just kind of wish that they kept it to where you could actually do the main campaign missions still in co-op.
Yeah,
I was really crushed for that, but it was still fun. I mean, doing the co-op, having the guy, flying that was the gyrocopter, flying up there with the noob tube, like raining death, and then you're down there on the bottom on the ground floor with the elephant. It definitely offers some cool stuff. So yeah, I'm excited. I hope they definitely keep expanding on the co-op capabilities of Far Cry.
All right, let me finish these last 2 questions. I'm gonna leave you guys alone because I know you got the rest of your podcast to go. The reason I never put TG in my name is because when I started this community, I was DBL DeathDealer.
my name is based off of me and my son. I wouldn't let my son play by himself. That's why there's a double in front of it, because there was two of us really. That kind of became my branding, and understand I use that branding across the entire internet. Craig knows better than anybody. Once you have branding, it's very hard to then change it. So there's multiple times I tried to change it, but because I deal with so many developers and other people, yeah, look at you looking at me. But because I've done that, I've now kind of stuck myself into a world where DBL Death Dealer will probably remain my online screen name forever. That doesn't mean I'm not devoted to this community, because trust me, everything that I do and say is based off of this place. So good question. And I'm not going to answer Battlefield Hardline because we talked about that from the get-go. So that's TWC's decision, not mine. All right, guys. Hey, I appreciate you guys letting me come out. And if you have any other questions or anything else that comes up in the chat, man, let me know. Echo, thanks for inviting me, bro.
Okay, thank you for being here. We'll be right back. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with more of the Tactical Nation podcast. We will see you soon. Hey everyone, I just want to thank you so much for watching the podcast. We really enjoyed doing this. We're going to take an extended break to fix the scenes. I will have music playing. I hope you all enjoy the music. Don't go anywhere, because we'll be right back right after a quick break to reset and everything. We can't do this podcast without people like y'all. So if you're in TG and want to be on this podcast, you can totally do that. Just check out the general discussion forum. Look for the Tactical Nation podcast and apply. Don't apply for next week, because I think already 3 people have applied to be on the show next week, and we usually only have 1 slot. But if you're not part of TG, go check it out. It's at tacticalgaming.net. Tactical Gaming, give every challenge your best shot. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Tactical Nation podcast, the podcast for tactical gamers everywhere. Give every challenge your best shot. We just got back from a short break. Sorry for no music. None of my music programs would work. Not even Windows music player would work. Like, I don't know. But we're back. So what do we got left for today?
Oh, there's plenty.
There's plenty of topics. We're an hour and a half in. We can go the full 3 hours.
Let's see, what do we have left for my post? Okay, so, should we get the Dying Light portions out of the way here?
Sure.
Okay, cool. Let's start off with the good part about Dying Light. So last week we reported on...
There's bad.
We reported on Dying Light sort of disabling or not allowing mod support in their game.
Inadvertently.
Inadvertently, they brushed it off and started blaming it on the ESRB or some other company that did the takedowns. And since then, they have vowed, after the huge backlash of the gaming community, have said that they will undo the damage to allow modding in the game. So basically what happened was there's a game that removed some filters and gave you access to the command console was another one, and they patched it to where all of those weren't allowed to be in the game, and then they had them taken down from the file sharing sites they were on. And now they're like, oh, we're sorry. Our bad. That wasn't its actual intent of the patch, but that was one of the causes, their side effects, and the DMCA claims that were taken down as well. Which, it's not entirely clear who issued them. It was either DSRB issued them, or Techland themselves, some person being paid by Techland took them down. But that's good to know that because modding is a great thing nowadays, especially in PC games.
I want my lightsaber.
You want your lightsaber? Oh yeah.
I want a lightsaber.
And I want my Teletubby
I'm surprised
zombies.
there isn't one already in Dying Light.
Well, because of the whole mod support issue.
Yeah, this is what that resolves.
Yeah, that's why they're now going to be officially supporting mod support. I think it'd be awesome if they could get Steam Workshop going, because that just makes modding...
Steam Workshop would turn that
But
thing
then they have
into
to
a
redo the
clusterfuck.
architecture of their game.
There have been games that have done it. They added Steam Workshop support for Left 4 Dead. Obviously, that's made by Valve, but other games have added it in there since. And it would just be really, really awesome for them to be able to do that, because it just makes mods a lot easier. But, I mean, mod support in general is awesome. And I remember for Dead Island, I went and put I downloaded a lightsaber mod and had a lightsaber in there. There's just a lot of really, really fun mods that you can do. I never really mod games that much until I played through it the first time. I'll do things like that if it's a mod that improves like performance, updates the graphics and makes it look better. Those I'll do the very first time.
That's what keeps Skyrim going is mod support. Skyrim would be dead without mod support.
Same thing with GTA 4.
Yeah, and that doesn't even officially support mods. But for Elder Scrolls Oblivion, I actually never beat that game. I have like 400 hours logged into it. Last I checked. I got like halfway through the story, and that's when I started getting into mods, and I downloaded so many, not just like, here's a new weapon, like full quest lines and things like that, and whole new areas, and I just never finished. I had to end up, it's one of only like 2 or 3 games that I've ever just gone onto YouTube and just looked up the ending because I knew I'll just never get to it. So yeah, mod support is definitely going to be something that helps Dying Light to not be dying off. Inner thigh slapper. So yeah, that's really cool that they're officially supporting that, and that because like I said, I already beat it, but you know, a couple months down the line, 6 months down the line, hey, let's see what's.
It's great to see them fix a situation that nobody wanted, apparently, from what they're saying.
Yeah, but also for Dying Light, there's a lot of Easter eggs in that game.
Yeah, and we're gonna spot one of the cool ones that I found. Wow.
And we stumbled across this.
Yeah.
It was me, Nylum, Dawe, and Griff.
So
we're all on, and we came across this Easter egg that did we link it in Twitch?
It's playing right now on Twitch. It's
okay.
a Mario Easter egg where a Mario pipe is in a chimney.
So wait, you guys
It's in the second area.
This?
Yeah. We weren't the first ones to discover this. We'd heard that there was this because there's a Destiny Easter egg where you go into this tunnel and you do the loot cave.
You dive into a cave and there's just a whole bunch of.
And it's actual text, like text pops up and it says like it is your destiny to loot stuff or something. And after you farm so many kills, it'll pop up saying like, okay, patch 1.02 is out. Now get back to the actual missions rather than what people were doing with Destiny, which was just sitting in front of a cave. Oh, there's enemies. There's enemies. There's enemies. Like so yeah, you can see here the footage. This is it's a 3D.
The 3D
rendition version of Mario. It's
this
World
is how
1-1.
Mario would be looking at his world, basically, guys.
Yeah, and it's actually really cool because if you guys know Freddie Wong, they now do known as Rocket Jump on
they
YouTube.
Do video game high school.
They do
sort of things.
Yeah, and they do a lot of videos with special effects, and they're huge nerds, they're huge gamers, so a lot of their videos are centered around gaming. And they actually did a Mario, first-person Mario. Just go onto YouTube and search Mario first-person.
Built one.
And they did a video showing this. I mean, I'm sure the guys that made this actually watched that video to get an idea of what it looks like. But it's very cool, and there's a little hidden secret. I don't know if the video you're showing shows it, but there's a hidden in the Mario games, there's those clear blocks that are hidden, and you can
block.
Yeah, you can actually jump up onto it, and there's a flying squirrel suit that lets you fly, like in Mario.
You could,
yeah, it's not called that. I can't remember. I could boot up Dying Light right now, but and look, but it's you can get a little flying. It's not that good.
He just grabbed the flagpole.
The grapple hook is definitely a more effective tool at traversing the world of Dying Light, but I just love the zombies. They shrunk the zombies down to make them look like the Goombas. And this is a really, really cool Easter egg that they did. But there's a ton of other Easter eggs in this game. And, I mean, this is the stuff that modders would be creating
but it's already in the
when
game.
it comes out. But yeah, this is something that the guys actually made. So that was really cool. World 1-1. The little fireworks go off at the end when you go on the thing. So yeah,
sound too, but I don't have the sound playing.
It did. It made little pop and crackle firework kind of sounds. Don't quit your day job. That's
well, as someone
don't get into the music industry.
Yeah, as someone who doesn't own Dying Light, unfortunately, I know, crucify me over it. But as someone who doesn't own Dying Light, regardless, seeing a game get mod support, that's always a thumbs up in my book. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, good on you, Techland.
Let's see here.
I think that's all the ones that you originally.
No,
Destiny guns changing.
Yeah, something's going on with Destiny. A major update to the guns that'll either change your gun a little bit or like totally change the gun from what the article's talking about.
So they're overhauling like the weapon system as a whole.
System. Yeah.
Basically, they're doing what Battlefield did.
So basically, there's going to be a lot of bullet points here. So.
Bullet points.
Well, yeah.
Dealing with guns.
So it's going to be so.
Oh, the pun.
So stay with me as I read all this.
Oh my goodness, keep it quick.
So auto rifles will change their base damage reduced by 2.5% in addition to reducing the range. And these guns are meant for medium to long range currently, and they'll be going down to medium range now. The pulse rifles, the least used weapon, will see the base damage increased 8.7%. I don't know where they get 8.7%. Might I just go 9? But I'm not a QA tester, so hand cannons, the euphemism for pistols, will lose range. They'll be more of a close range gun now, and they'll also lose accuracy because people are currently using them for medium range. Fusion rifles, which are designed for mid-range combat, will see a wider blast radius, and their starting ammunition is reduced, so you get less ammunition and your blast radius is larger. I don't know if that means it's wider or if the actual explosion is bigger. I don't know. I don't play that.
It could be that the radius is bigger.
Yeah. Heavy machine guns, rocket launchers, scout rifles, and sniper rifles are pretty much immune with the minor changes. They're like so minor that it's not worth even talking about. But yeah, it's getting a game balance up. Basically, weapons that are being used, they're trying to tone down them, and weapons that aren't being used, they're trying to.
Does it still take 45 minutes to kill one boss that never changes?
Probably.
All right.
Depending on your squad.
Depending.
And there's also an Xbox update coming out, which is interesting because usually
Screenshots.
we don't cover these usually. I don't like covering updates, but this one.
Well, I used to cover them in news articles, but now that I've switched over to PC gaming,
this is the first big update of the year, and more controller improvements will be coming up. Your red Hobo. There's going to be more controller improvements coming. So basically, speed stability. I guess this isn't hardware. This is software improvements on your controller support. Quick connect. Your controllers will be easier to connect. I don't understand how that's a problem right now. Maybe if you own an Xbox, you can tell me. I don't know.
Well, what the issue originally was is it would take 4 to 5 seconds for your Xbox controller to recognize your Xbox and connect to it. And so now they've cut that down to 2 seconds. So it's really just a first world problem kind of thing. Well, it takes 4 to 5 seconds for my controller to connect. It's not fast enough.
Actually disconnecting from your console. That's what the problem is.
That as well.
That's the problem.
Yeah,
okay.
But they have cut down the connection.
Game hubs, which I guess are like friends hubs. I know. They're ghost centers for interesting. This is what the update says. I'm not like journalistically changing this. I think it's basically like the Steam community page for that game is what I'm getting out of it. So basically there's going to be tips, guides, hangouts, game clips, broadcasters, broadcasters, top clips, that sort of thing. So
that just seems like they're incorporating what Steam has going with its community.
A Steam community page for the game.
Cool.
Party chat updates? So this is like how you talk to your friends and not talk to everyone else. Fixing connection issues. That seems to be the major. Is just getting closed NAT people able to connect to open NAT people. Closed NAT. It's just NAT problems. It looks like. Performance improvements for person-to-person connectivity. So basically, like we're all three in a party, but I can't connect to Hobo really well, so I'm hearing him a little bit jumbled up. And Craig, you're perfectly fine.
Yeah.
You can change the backdrop and tile transparency of the thing now, so I can make this work. That's weird. But you can change your background and transparency. TV updates. I don't think anybody cares about the TV of Xbox anymore. But there's improved TV. Basically, it's, the majority of it is improved TV streaming.
TV.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Support for the Netherlands is being added. I bet TDS will like that. So if you live in the Netherlands and you don't have support out, you'll now have support.
Now you can speak Dutch to your console.
So that's the Xbox One updates. I think that's it for me. So Craig, we're moving on to sort of what you chose this week.
Oh.
Why don't we start with the thing that I am most interested in, the DirectX 12 updates?
Yeah!
This is something I can get excited about, too, as a PC gamer.
Graphs from what I'm getting.
Oh, yeah, the thing that I linked in our thread was definitely not the most engaging and visually stimulating.
So here's a graph for those of you watching of how the thread counts will work with DirectX 12.
Well, there's other pages. If you scroll down to the bottom of that article, they've got a little drop-down box that says you've got the clickable thing, the current state of DirectX 12 and WDDM 2.0. There's a little drop-down box, and it's the other things showing like the Star Swarm test. They've got showing off the CPU and GPU scaling. They show power consumption for DirectX 12 versus current DirectX 11, as well as Mantle, which is a thing that AMD is really pushing for. But basically, I mean, and for those of you guys that don't know, DirectX 12 is how to explain this.
It's used in PC gaming mainly.
Well, even
but it's
even
an
consoles,
API.
yeah, even consoles have an API.
Yeah.
It's the way in which your computers. It's kind of like a driver, and
But
it's
more
the way
for hardware.
Yeah, it's the way in which
how-
your software
It's
is
sort of
able
like how
to
your
access
software
your
and
hardware.
go
Well,
together is how I'm
well,
going to say it.
Here's the exact definition of it. It's an abbreviation of Application Program Interface, and it's a set of routines, protocols, and tools for building software applications. And the API specifies how software components should interact and are used when programming a GUI component. So it basically just helps the software communicate with the hardware.
And
Yeah.
how it communicates.
And how it communicates, yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's the
it
easiest
comes-
way I could put it.
Yeah. So, like drivers, over time, people can improve this. They can make things more streamlined. They can get
Tweak it.
access to hardware, which if you have better access to your hardware, if things are more efficient in which the way it communicates, then the current hardware that you have is being put to better use. So, you're not going to it's not going to help your hardware to become more powerful. Your video card is not going to become more powerful.
Yeah.
It's just going to be more efficiently used. This is
It's
so
using that hardware the best way possible.
yeah. It,
Yeah.
it makes it just for more efficient communication with your hardware. So the DirectX 12, it's still in testing. So that site, I
But
guess
it will be only on Windows 10,
mm-hmm.
which is something for everyone to know.
Some DirectX 12 features will be available on older graphics
On older
cards.
drivers, yes.
But
Yeah.
not all features.
But not a lot of-
the best features will be only for Windows 10.
Yeah,
It's like
if everything
it's
was
like with your
available,
graphics card, you're able to do shadow play, Craig. I can. It's just something like that.
Can I
Well,
say one thing
that's
about
that's
Windows
an actual
10, though?
hardware requirement, though. There's
Well,
an actual
still,
chip.
I'm using an example of.
Okay. But yeah, and the thing is, a lot of people get mad. They're like, "Oh, well, no, I have to upgrade to
You
a
don't-
DirectX 12 compatible card." It's like, well, that's how things work. When things get newer, you have to upgrade. You
And we're
can't.
still using DX9.
Yeah,
on
we still have
games.
games to
It's
support,
like,
and-
you're fine for a couple more years. You don't have to upgrade yet.
Can
yeah,
I say
people
one thing,
always-
though, about Windows 10? I've been using Windows 10 on my Microsoft Surface Pro. Cortana sucks. I'm just saying that right now. It is absolutely terrible. Unless you are using that thing for a natively built Windows voice application, it cannot understand you for jack. It is terrible.
Yeah, I think I said whenever I get a new computer and I upgrade to Windows 10, I was like, I'm disabling that.
Disable
I will
Cortana.
remove the software to get rid of that thing.
I
that
get the
extra
fact.
hardware space.
Yeah, and I get the fact that it's in a beta
It's
and
just
all, but
bloatware.
I get the fact that it's in a beta and all, and it can improve. But it's like from where it is right now, there's not much improving you can do to make that thing good.
And from what I've been told, it doesn't even sound like Cortana, really.
That's debatable.
Yeah, from what I've heard, it does kind of. But so yeah, so back to DX12. A lot of the stuff that they're showing, it's got massive improvements over DirectX 11, and again, it's not even complete. They're still working on it. So it was just nice to see Anantech, a company other than Microsoft.
Talk about it?
They talked about it at their event, like, well, you'll see improvements up to 50%. It's like, well, yeah, but you're the guys that are going to directly benefit from us using this. You're the ones that financially benefit from it.
They're the
So
ones that get licensed to all the major companies to use it.
yeah, so that's why you never take the word from somebody who has the financial benefit of you using it. So that's why.
But it will be better than DX11, is all we can really say.
Yeah. That's all we
yeah.
know.
It's definitely got some better efficient communication between your hardware and software. The developers so far have been saying that are making things for it, that have gotten their hands on it. They're definitely saying it's a lot. It's like when the PS3 came out and they had the Cell processor, and while it was a very powerful processor, it was just so complex. The way in which developers had to
architecture
interact.
of the-
Yeah, and it took them so long after, it took them 6-7 years of using that hardware and programming for it
To
to where
get all
people
of it out of
really
it.
were able to make stuff like Uncharted and The Last of Us. And so, or Uncharted, Thieves, whatever the third one was. Thief's End, whatever it was. And so, it took them so long. So that's kind of what DX12 is to do. It's to help make things for the developers easier there and more efficient. So that's really, really awesome. Very excited for that. And it's just nice to have good competition between DirectX and the Mantle stuff. Yeah, for those for what you were wondering, yeah, DX. It's DX12. It's also known as DirectX 12, and that's what DX is. Stands for direct.
Fun fact of the day: The reason Xbox is known as Xbox is because it was originally called the DirectX box, because it runs with the DirectX API.
And they also wanted it to be in the shape of an X when it was first announced.
Yeah. So.
Which is terrible for heating.
Fun fact of the day, that's how Xbox got its name.
So, talk about the Steam inventory thing, Craig.
All right. Steam has a inventory system already. You can get things like coupons. You can get the Steam trading cards. A lot of the Team Fortress. Team Fortress has a ton of their hats and their items, but there's very few games that actually have this. So whenever they do their like themed sales, like their winter sale and the summer sale, they'll oftentimes do some things for a lot of like the free-to-play games like Warframe. You could get sandanas, the little scarves that you wear. You could get gear, and you have it on your Steam account. And when you go into Warframe, you have that gear accessible.
Games that use this currently.
Yeah, it's typically only been big events that Valve did or Valve games, but now they're giving this access to in the API for anybody that has a game on Steam. Battlefield, well, Battlefield's not on Steam. That was a real bad
You
example.
can buy Call of Duty skins now on the Steam market.
Correct. You can get things, and they can be tradable on the Steam marketplace. They can as the developer will have the choice. You can tag things as tradable, or it'll be bind on pickup or whatever to make a MMO term. You can make things so everybody can sell things. You can
Steam
trade
profits,
things.
Community profits, developer profits.
If you make something sellable, this is a brilliant idea by Valve.
I mean,
they're going to make.
I'm surprised this hasn't come more. Like,
they're going to be pushing this, I bet.
Oh yeah, I bet. Like Warframe, they finally got it for like their special winter event. I can see Warframe like selling. You can like sell Warframe blueprints or stuff like actual. Like you build a Warframe, sell it on Steam for like $1 or something.
Well,
like
again,
that.
the developers do have to push for this.
Yeah, they do have to allow it, but I can see it where
it's not so much community created. I mean, Counter-Strike already has things where you can do for the community, but it's if the developers create things, they can make that. So they can do things to where like whenever you get achievements in the game, you get Steam achievements, and you get the achievement. You get the achievement for 100 hours logged in to the multiplayer. You can get something on Steam, and so that'll be something that can be tradable on the marketplace, and it'll be stuff that actually impacts your game. So this is a really, really cool thing for consumers, for us. It's an amazing thing for developers to give them great things and perks to why you should get this game, because we offer the Steam inventory stuff. But it's a great thing for Valve. They're going to make a killing off of this. They make small transactions.
They make at least 2 cents on every transaction in the market.
They make and that's in there. If you ever do buy stuff on the Steam marketplace, it'll show like what the markup is.
No, but what's really dumb is that if you buy things from certain games, there's a tax because it's that game. So on CS:GO, there's like the 2% Valve tax, but then there's like the 1% CS:GO tax.
Interesting.
Which is kind of funny.
Interesting. So yeah, they're going to make even more money on this. For one of the guys in chat was wondering what my setup was. My computer hardware setup is a little old, but there's a link. I've got all my hardware and whatnot in that on the about page for my YouTube channel, so you can see my hardware there. But the Steam inventory thing is going to be a really, really cool thing. I'm very much looking forward, because I love what they did with Warframe, the Sandanas, the exclusive skins.
I bought 2 Warframe items that were given out during it.
Yeah, and this all started out like one of the ones that I got. It was like selling for $60 on Steam, and then a week later it's down to like $15, and now you can pick those things up for 15 cents. Yeah, 10, 15 cents. Some of them still sell for a lot. There were some of them, I think I looked on there, there's still things that are like $100.
The most expensive item I bought from Warframe was 60 cents so far.
Yeah.
And that was a Rhino skin, I think?
Yeah, you got the Rabito lined Rhino skin. So that's really cool. I can't wait to, because again, you guys are always talking, or I think we've ended up mentioning it in every podcast, but I always talk about how I actually like Uplay because it's a nice thing for competition. I like Origin. I don't like using it, but I like its existence because it's another thing competing against Steam. I don't want Steam to become the monopoly, and they realize we have this, 60% of the market here, and so we can just screw people over and start doing this and this and this, and who cares? Where else are you going to go? We're the only guys around. So I want competition to exist. So and one of the things I always mention for Uplay is that they have, when you get achievements on Uplay, you get U points or whatever, and you can spend those U points to buy,
items.
you can buy in-game items.
You can buy HD background for your desktop.
Yeah, you can buy you can get music, MP3s of the soundtrack, and Assassin's Creed Black Flag. I got there was some sword that I ended up getting via the Uplay points thing. So that's really cool. And now that's Valve's chance to give that, because the developers can tie things to achievements, and in-game, like when there's an event going on for Warframe, now rather than getting the item in Warframe, you get it on Steam. It's tied to your Steam account, and you can sell it on the market for real money, not just in-game platinum, but for real money. I mean, it's unbelievable what potential is. Mm-hmm. And it'll be a while. I mean, this API has been newly made available, the access to the API. It'll take a while. It'll be a few months before we see developers really being able to capitalize on it, but it's going to be cool. It's going to be cool.
And I think we have one last thing to talk about that we've planned to talk about.
And then we can go off the cuff.
Yeah, and then y'all can talk about whatever that else is in it.
Yep. So what is this one more thing?
Craig, why don't you talk about the last thing, because...
Netflix.
Yeah.
Yes, not specifically gaming related, but it does touch on it, because Netflix, I'm sure everybody knows what Netflix is. They are working, and what you probably don't know that Netflix has been doing, they've actually been coming out with actual Netflix-produced content. Yeah, and they've made Orange is the New Black, I believe that was House of Cards, which I haven't watched any of, but I keep hearing
it's awesome.
It's been sitting on my Netflix queue. I got to get through all the hundreds of other TV shows. I got to get caught up on Walking Dead, House, so many things I got to get caught up on, but eventually I will get to House of Cards. And so they've been coming out with a lot of original content that Netflix has been producing, which is awesome. This is like the future.
But
I
now
can't
they
wait.
might be coming out with a not so original, but original.
Well, it's
content.
original, but it's based on a current IP.
Yeah.
They're wanting to develop a live-action Legend of Zelda series. And people have been wanting this for the longest time. Before the podcast started, I mentioned
people not remember
the April Fool's Day joke that I'm pretty sure it was College Humor did, and they released a trailer for the new Zelda movie that's going to be coming out, like theatrical release Zelda movie. And so they've released this, and I'll put a link in Twitch for what we're talking about. And they released that, and everybody was so like going crazy because it did look relatively legit.
Yeah.
I mean, if you watch it now, the effects do look very rudimentary because this was like maybe 7-8 years ago. It was early phases of YouTube, and so they came out with that, and everybody was excited. And then it was revealed, oh, this was just a spoof. This is just an April Fool's joke.
Thing we did for fun. Have fun, guys.
Yeah. So I mean, people have been wanting this for a very, very long time. And it's going to be live action, which will be interesting.
Yeah.
Is Link going to speak?
Holy cow, that'd be weird.
What will his voice be?
Yeah, Netflix is describing it as Game of Thrones for a family audience, which seems very contradictory.
Yes, killing people.
Wait, does that mean we're going to get the Red Wedding Zelda style?
I don't think there will be any nudity like in Game of Thrones, and I'm sure
I just want the Red Wedding. That is all I want.
I'm sure the gore will be dialed down because they do say for a family audience, and obviously the source material.
I think that was a very bad reference to make for them.
Well, I mean, Game of Thrones. It's not a. I mean,
it's talking about a cult following standpoint, then yeah, that makes sense. But everything else just doesn't make sense. But moving on, yeah.
I think it'll be pretty cool. I mean, I'm a big fan of Zelda franchise. Not of late. Nintendo have kind of been letting me down on their last few launches with Twilight Princess and Skyward.
Don't say that. Don't say that. People are gonna come to your house.
I don't care. So yeah, those have been letting me down. But Link to the Past on the Super Nintendo is still my favorite Legend of Zelda of all time. I know a lot of people are going to say Ocarina of Time. but that's probably the same reason that people say Bad Company's their favorite Battlefield. It's just because they came into the franchise at that point and they didn't play some of the older things. So, get off my lawn. I'm an old guy that's been around for too long. So, yeah, Link to the Past, Ocarina of Time are so great.
It would be nice if we get an actual video game-based show to work.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. And I mean, Netflix has got the chops for it. It's not going to be some B-level cheesy sci-fi show. No offense to the Sci-Fi Channel.
Because video game movies have either been
Hit or
low
miss.
budget and they were good, and that was the end of it. Or
Did
they
you guys
were high budget and they had nothing to do with the video game.
have you guys seen the trailer for the Dead Rising movie?
No.
It looks. I was expecting when I heard the launch, I thought it was going to be a theatrical release. Well, it's going to be a direct to DVD, and it's not going to go.
That's not good.
It's very B. But then when you think about what it's based on, the
Based
Dead
on
Rising.
stupidness, really.
Yeah, it's that over the top. Take chainsaws and put them on the handlebars of a motorcycle and drive through. Like that's something that you just wouldn't see in a high budget theatrical release, or maybe you would something from Uwe Boll. But I'm just
you'd see
thank
that.
God this is
Or
not
Michael Bay.
Uwe Boll.
He's probably the director of it.
He's not. No, I did look into that, and he is. I don't believe he is. Pretty sure he is not. So yeah, the source material, if you were to turn that into a movie, it only would be able to be a B-rated, a B movie.
Yeah,
so
it's already because it's a B-rated game in the sense.
but because this is Netflix, they've got the budget. Obviously, they're making a killing.
They're not dumb.
Yeah, they've made Orange Is the New Black, which I haven't actually seen, but I've heard
I haven't seen any of their
House of
own
Cards,
shows.
very well produced. I mean, the production value on that stuff is just immense. So to have them with the only thing is, how much what is Nintendo going to do? How
What's Nintendo
restricted?
going to allow? Like, what if an episode gets canceled because Nintendo doesn't like it?
Yeah.
What if they upload a trailer of the action show on their YouTube channel? Nintendo claims it.
Yeah, my only fear is how restrictive is Nintendo going to be? Because again, they say for a family audience, and I don't want it to be something that you see on the CW.
I don't want it to be like Saturday morning cartoon time.
No offense to anybody that likes anything on the CW. Arrow was pretty good. Can't say the same for the Flash show, but yeah. So I don't know. It's got potential to be cool. Hopefully, it does succeed and does well, because if Netflix does this for other things, that would be pretty cool to see other franchises. And that's the thing, why books and video games don't translate into film that well is because there's so much that you're having to make into a 2-hour frame. So movies, not the best market for turning a book
TV shows you can do.
But a TV show, yeah, where you've got an hour episode, and you've got 48 or 24 episodes that are an hour.
You can actually tell a story instead of, here's everything you needed to go, action!
Exactly, and it's Netflix, so no commercials. That's always a perk. And so, yeah, I think there's a lot of potential for this. I just hope it does well.
Yeah.
Hopefully, Netflix, they've got a lot of money riding on it, I'm sure, so they're
Because the last
good.
book movie I saw was Ender's Game, and it was like they threw so much, like, lore in your face in, like, the first hour, and then we're like, okay, on to everything else. It's like, but I'm still confused. Are they evil?
Yeah, it was a good movie from a movie standpoint, but there was a lot missing. It was a little.
And the ending I totally called. Like, I was talking with my friend, and I was like, spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen the movie yet or read the book. I was like, hey, did you know that's the real battle?
Yeah. Well, sadly, I did know the plot of that. I typically don't.
I did it, and I guessed the plot completely. It's so sad.
Yeah, it's still a good movie in its own right, but yeah, when you compare it to the source material, everybody's always like, but they didn't include this, they didn't include that, they didn't do.
It's a movie.
Yeah, it's a movie. They've only got 2 hours, so that's pretty cool. But I think
about wraps us up. I think for our planned talks.
Yavo.
Off the cuff stuff. I got two
anything
stories.
That they want to discuss in general that doesn't take another 3 hours.
I got two news stories that recently broke during the podcast.
Okay, cool.
So about
I don't have the sound. I haven't found the sound yet.
That's why I had to do it.
anyways, aside from Craig and his Darude Sandstorm. So just an hour ago during our podcast, Valve and ESL have banned another 19 players for match fixing.
That came out this morning.
I thought you were going to say they announced Half-Life 3. You got my hopes up.
Yeah,
Nope.
No, it's more
match
fixing thing. We talked about this a lot beforehand, so I don't want to stay on it too much. It's just dumb.
Well,
Yeah, more
long
people
story
cheating.
short, yeah, more match fixing, more people cheating. 19 people have been banned from the ESL tournament, which has a $250,000 prize pool. And the tournament runs from March 12th to March 15th in Katowice, Poland. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but
There you go. I found it. I think I found it.
yeah, it's on VG247. So that's at least the article I'm looking at.
No, I'm not playing.
So more cheaters, more crap in the CSGO community. Boy, people in there Darude Sandstorm in chat.
No, why do you have to bring that up? You know.
Dude, it's the internet's favorite song.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
I hate the internet.
I hate the
I love-
internet, yeah.
I love you, internet.
I love you sometimes, but most of the time, I hate you. Such a
Craig, you
echo-
have a YouTube channel. You should love the internet.
The internet is an echo chamber, and I hate echo chambers. No offense to you, Echo,
Oh, thank
on
you.
Scout, but I'm not a fan of echo chambers, and
Okay,
the internet
I found the sound.
is such an echo chamber.
Oh god, are you seriously gonna play this over the live stream?
I think I found the sound. Breaking news. It's not playing.
Of
I'm
course.
talking about I think he's talking about the news beeps,
Yeah,
which is what I was going for. I wasn't going for Darude Sandstorm. I was going for the
Yeah, I have Morse code.
which is Morse code.
I have Morse
that
code.
back in the day, news networks would play that when they had breaking news. Now they just do explosion gifs of like flames, and it says breaking news.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess if we're moving on from that topic, Star Citizen hits $72 million in
I heard about that. That's pretty knucking futz.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty knucking
That's
futz.
good to know.
I mean, that really is crazy. Like,
Well, to be fair,
remember-
it just got $2 million in 2 weeks, so that's quite a bit.
I would say, like,
there's
remember
a
what was
point where I
budget?
think there's too much money in a game.
I think the
Just
original
because people
budget
could
was
get
like
them.
$750,000 or something.
Oh, what they originally asked for on Kickstarter.
Let me look at that right
I
now. That's
can't
actually
remember. I'm saying just remember what like when we heard what it cost to make GTA 4, which didn't it cost 100 mil?
$265 million.
Was
to
that
make
was
GTA
okay?
5? Yeah.
No, I'm talking about GTA 4 though.
Oh, GTA 4 is like $100 million, I want to say. So the original Star Citizen Kickstarter was $500,000 goal, and
How
is
much was
now
it?
$500,000, and is now.
That's
up
what
to
they asking for?
$72 million. Yep.
So that's 144 times what they were asking.
Yep. And it has now been declared the most successful Kickstarter
Oh.
project in history. Not just a video game project, but out
I
of
don't
any
think
project
That's
ever.
not true. Because
Really?
its Kickstarter ended, but it continued doing crowdfunding after the Kickstarter, so you can't say...
Well, I shouldn't
Whenever
say
you say-
most successful Kickstarter. It's the most successful crowd-funded project.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
say that. That makes more sense than saying it's the most
Kickstart,
successful
the
Kickstarter.
company is, but then the term is people just use Kickstart now.
Well,
Yeah, let's see. Grand Theft Auto 4 did cost $100 million to make back in 2008. So to think that a game just 6 years later, well, it was starting to get kickstarted even before, but yeah, just like 6 years later, we've already got games that are approaching the budgets of what at the time was the most expensive game ever created.
yeah.
That's just mind-boggling to think that there's, and people I always love this. Again, the internet, it's so fun. You know, they claim they want new, innovative things in games, and then they come out with Battlefield Hardline. Oh, this is too different, and we don't want this. This is not what we. And then you've got people that say, oh, we love this Kickstarter idea of people giving money to a group before the game is ever even released, before there's ever even been any work on a game. All it is we want to do this. This is what we've done in the past. We want to do this. Give us some money and we can kick. So people love Kickstarter, but then they go and hate on pre-orderings.
Yeah.
You're ordering that game? That's horrible. You're ruining the industry. And it's like both cases, you're giving money to a group
Well, the
before
thought
the product is
of
out.
the thought of kickstarting is that game wouldn't happen unless you gave them your money.
Yeah.
Which nowadays that's not true. When it
And
first
especially
came out, that was definitely true. But
You're still putting money in the hands of somebody
but
before
nowadays
there's a
it's more
full
like,
product.
yeah, we're working on our game, but we would like more features, so we're putting ourselves on Kickstarter.
So
People are misusing Kickstarter now, and it's just becoming an early access.
like the guy who's making a potato salad.
No, he actually did that, by the way. He actually did all of that. He actually
Isn't it the
Wow.
GoFundMe or whatever?
Yeah, no, that was
No,
on
it started on Kickstarter. He's like, hey,
Patreon.
give me. He was like,
He
hey,
wanted
give
to
me
make a
$10
potato
and I'll make
salad,
a
so he
potato
asked
salad.
for $30 to make a potato salad, and then like,
And it
money
blew up
just
to like
kept
$1
pouring
million.
in.
Well, that's like Rebecca Black. It
Yeah.
became popular to hate something that sucked. His idea sucked, and it became popular. Again, people like to be a part of
but I
something.
don't
They can
think
go to
people
their friends
hated
and
it.
say, "Yeah, I
Yeah,
funded
I went
that
to
dude's
eat- I
potato
went to
salad.
eat salad
I gave
at
that
the- at
dude
that-
$5. They were a part of something. So that's
Yeah, but I don't think people hated the potato salad guy. It was just funny, is what it was.
He actually rented out a stadium and served potato salad to anyone who came in who backed the thing. He actually rented it out. I'm not lying. He actually did all that. He didn't just take the money and run. I gotta
Wow.
commend him on that.
good for
So
him.
I gotta say, to put Star Citizen's funding into perspective, with $72 million, it has outfunded games like Watch Dogs, Halo 3, Crysis 3, Ghost Recon Future Soldier, Gran Turismo 5, Final Fantasy 9 and 12, LA Noire, and World of Warcraft. It has outfunded all of those games, which is impressive.
Yeah, again, that's shocking. Now we just need Star
The game.
Citizen to come out and
now we just need
for
the
it to
game.
be amazing. Like, I'm hugely anticipating it. I really do hope we get like a division within TG for Star Citizen.
Oh, yeah, I'm hoping for it too.
I mean, it's cool for Battlefield, and I'm sure Arma has the same thing. You have those guys that are a good pilot. Like, they're not just a good Battlefield
Oh, yeah.
player. They're not a good.
I'm the good pilot
They're
in
the
Arma.
pilots in that division. They're the guy that's good at driving tanks. They're the guy that's a good gunner on a tank. They're the guy that's known for being the good medic, the good engineer, the good support.
Yeah.
Like, there's those specific things. The classes, again, Call of Duty, you don't have classes. League of Legends, do you have classes? I know you have different players, but do they fall into different classes of
now?
like medics and I don't know.
On
Whatever.
what? No, hold on. I didn't hear you.
On League of Legends and other MOBAs.
Yes, there are positions. There's 80. You have this guy's your support character. He heals and does CC. You have your ADC. You have your.
All right. So
AP.
yeah, then in League of Legends you would have, and other MOBAs, you would have that guy that's known as being like, I'm the good healer of the group. I don't like to draw aggro and
I'm
take the damage.
tank, I'm the
Yeah,
damage
I'm the healer.
I'm the magic
So you have
healer.
those different,
Yeah.
and that potential within Star Citizen is incredible. Like, I love in Star Wars, you got the scene where Luke, they're all on the Millennium Falcon, and Luke Skywalker, he goes down into the little tunnel. Well, it's hard to say down because they're in space where there's near zero gravity. But he goes into one of the tunnels and he's got his gun. Han Solo's on his gun. He finally takes out the TIE fighter that are on them, and I took one, I got one. And don't get cocky, kid. They've got that scene, like that thought of being in a ship that you actually will have to move around, that can take damage, and that you can start losing atmosphere and having like your air being sucked out of your ship if you take damage, and having the guy that's actually at the helm piloting the ship around in near zero gravity, that has to actually make, do we want to give power? Do we want to send power to the guns? Do we want to send power to our shields? Do we want to send power to our speed? And that guy, you have to communicate with them. You've got the guys that are manning the different guns, and like that is going to be so cool. I'm not going to join the division because I think that's going to be too much for me to handle.
It's going to be too stressful.
Not
I feel
to
like it'd
mention
just be too much for me to handle.
It wouldn't
Yeah,
be fun,
not-
really. It wouldn't be
not-
fun at that point.
Well, not to mention it's all happening within a very persistent and dynamic universe with things like economies and player bases and all this other crazy stuff. It literally is Universe Simulator 2015, or in this case 2016.
It's EVE Online with more depth. That's
Yeah.
how I explain it.
I guess that's an easy way to put it.
It's EVE Online with more depth. EVE Online, you can control a ship, and that's about the end of it.
Yeah, I mean they've got the planets that you can go and land on, and you've got the different economies that are going to be that. It's like in Star Wars. I'm going to make a ton of Star Wars references because that's I'm sure that's where they're drawing a lot of inspiration from. But in Star Wars,
don't leak anything so we don't get
oh,
flagged.
you've got those planets that are like specifically known for certain things, like Tatooine. It's the desert planet. It's kind of like the Old West in America, where a lot of illegal activity happened. And so that's where you have that pod racing where they got all the gambling going on, and you can have these races in which people are dying. You've got the guys that are ramming each other, and the dude's engine blows up and he spirals out and goes and kills him, gets himself killed. But that's totally acceptable. It's like NASCAR. Everybody wants to see the wrecks, but you don't want anybody to die. Well, in that pod racing stuff, like they want to see people die.
Someone die.
Yeah, because it's just this. You got all these illegal activities going on and all these people that are criminals and bandits and things like that happening on this planet that is just that entire planet that is its ecosystem. And then you have the planet that is an entire city. I can't remember what it's called. I'm sorry, it's been a while since I've seen any of the recent Star Wars films, but there's that, what is it, Coruscant?
Coruscant's
Is that the one that's
that's the city one.
That is the one that's all right. Yeah. So you've got
the
Coruscant,
city one, yeah.
which is like that's where you've got the Jedi Council is there. I'm pretty sure is where they are on
Parliament
Coruscant
or whatever. They have the council.
Yeah. You've got this big business economy. Everything is very suit and tie. They don't wear suit and ties but that's like what it would
they
be.
They don't wear suit and ties. They wear
Yeah.
robes. No one cares anymore. They just walk out in robes.
Yeah, it's a very formal kind of thing, and so you're going to have that in Star Citizen, and I think it'll be awesome if you start having like entire clans that like take over a planet. Like you get some clan, some group that is so big, they've got battleships that are the size of planets sitting outside of these, and they've got like a barrier going around the planet, and they're like, this is our turf now. We're taking control of this market planet, and it's ours. You guys want access? You got to pay the toll. You got to pay to get like that. Like for that to happen is incredible for the community to have that much control, and the developers like, but we didn't want this to happen. No, you've given us the amount of control. You've given us so many tools in this that we're taking over, and that's kind of happened with Eve. You have that.
I was gonna say that happened with Eve.
You've got those banks that people have these banks that can get broken into, and multi-millions of dollars, like real world millions of dollars, can get stolen in a heist going on. It happened. Lots of money.
Eve. No, what that was is somebody missed an auto payment, and basically what happened is it started to work if someone missed an auto payment.
It started World War III because someone missed like a security deposit or something.
You know how like a bill will automatically come out of your bank account every month?
Yes.
Basically, somebody missed their bill, and it caused a war.
And caused World War III.
Basically, what that did is that guy had to go to that alliance had to go to war with this alliance, and then this alliance had allies with these alliances, which were allied with these alliances, and these alliances over here were allied with these alliances. It just caused everyone. And basically, certain ships are worth a monumental amount of money because of the amount of time it takes to create them. So basically, a lot of money was lost.
Yeah, they said it was something like $300,000 worth of ships were blown up in the battle.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
It was crazy. They have an actual monument of.
They have a monument in real life.
Every captain's name that had a character in Eve at that time. They have a monument with everyone's name written in it.
Insert disc says that Coruscant is a rock-covered, not a metropolis. It's one of the planets. I can't remember, but yeah, I just remember there was that one planet that episode 1 where they're on, and there's it's a whole, or no, it's not episode 1. It's episode one of the episodes.
Yeah.
One of the most recent ones, but yeah, that's just the thought of that is very cool to think that the community can take things to that level and have that much control, and the developers are going to struggle to fight the community and keep things in check. But that's just cool. I'm very much looking forward to, and the visual aspect of it is the Crisis, the modern day Crisis. When Crisis came out in 2007, it blew everybody's minds, and then now and the scale of Crisis was incredible. I mean, the physics that were going on. You could go up to a shack and try to be stealthy, and you could like punch out one panel of this shanty-style shack, and then lean in and with your suppressed gun and snipe one of the North Korean guards. That was awesome. It's not only was the game visually stunning, but the physics, the scale. You could go up to a tree, shoot the tree, then grab the tree that you just shot and like start beating North Koreans with this palm tree. Like that was awesome. You could grab barrels, throw it up in the air, shoot it. The oil would leak out as it's flying through the air with a hole in it, and then shoot it again, ignite it, it explodes, and there's this massive trail of fire. And then the North Koreans are taking their car in, they drive over it, the fire pops all the tires, it pops, it starts flipping, it goes over. Like the gameplay of Crysis, other than just the graphics, was something that had never been done before.
Mm-hmm.
to that level of polish. And now we've got that again with Star Citizen. You have this visual and scale and just everything coming together, the way that they're going to do physics for the low-gravity fighting, how you can go in and take that out, and all of a sudden all your cover is floating in the air, and you're having to bounce around from wall to wall to actually traverse through the interiors of a ship. I mean, it's just the scale is going to be crazy. So
Yeah.
I'm very much looking forward to that. I think that's going to – with Oculus.
Okay. I think
Or
that's all we have. Chat, if you have any questions on news or topics or tactical gaming related,
Darude.
now is about the time of your time to bring it up before we do the closing of the show. Right after the show ends, the stream will go down for about 10 minutes. But after that 10 minutes, I will come back up live with a game. I might have some computer issues currently, so I have to fix those. But I will come back up about 5-10 minutes after the stream ends, so don't worry about that. But yeah, if you got any questions, start pulling those through.
I'm going to butcher your name, but I think it's Mock the First. Yeah,
Mock the First.
Mock the First. I mean, I know the League of Legends guys, they would welcome me to come in and hang out with you guys, but I'm just not a big MOBA kind of guy. It's pretty funny. I'm primarily a PC gamer, have been since 1993, and the biggest genres it used to be PC, but then real-time strategy games became hugely popular, and then you've got all the MOBA things, and then you've got all the things with Minecraft and all these building, and then you've got all the survival games like DayZ, and all these are like the biggest things are taking over the gaming sphere. And I can't stand any of them. I enjoy real-time strategy games
Craig
here and there.
hates creation games. He likes destroying things.
No, he hates creating things too.
I played with Legos back in the day. I liked to create things, but I'd rather just play a game rather than just build a one-to-one scale of the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, but to be fair, Minecraft also has those custom-made games, so you can do things like the Hunger Games or, sword battles and stuff. So they have their own mini games built in.
Yeah, I'd rather just play The Witcher.
Doesn't seem like there's too many questions, so let's go through all of this, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about a charity event coming up that all of y'all should go to. But first, before that, Craig, why don't you talk about yourself and how we hold hands on the beach together?
I do. I love those long walks on the beach. They're just so enjoyable with the moonlight, the glass of champagne. No,
Why am I in this community?
I actually don't like champagne. Not a big champagne fan. I do like the beach, though. It's pretty pleasant. But I am not on my YouTube channel when I'm out walking on that beach because it's a beach and that'd be a very long internet board. Yeah, I've got a YouTube channel. It's just Craig1287 without the TGX. I had it before I had joined TG, and I really wish Google made it easier to change your YouTube name because it's
you have to,
a
submit
capital
a ticket, call support.
I just want to
minute.
change my name from Craig1287 lowercase to a capital C.
Yeah,
Craig
I have that problem too.
And
I'm like,
that's
I want a capital E now. It's more professional.
Okay, guys, I've changed my name in the past. I can show you how to do this.
I've looked at it. All right, tell me how it is because I've looked
Your
it up.
actual account
have
name, not your channel name.
Your actual account name on Google Plus. You can change that.
Oh.
Google lets you have the option to do that, and when you do that, it affects your YouTube channel name as well.
Okay, you'll have to
That's
do
fine.
that
That's
after
what I
the
want to
show
change.
then.
I don't. Yeah. All right.
Okay,
Yeah.
so-
After this, you'll have to after the podcast.
I'll show
I don't
you.
think anybody cares to hear about any of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, Craig1287. It might be changed here in a bit, but it'll still be Craig1287
With a
just have
capital C.
I just I guess when I set up my YouTube channel, I never thought I'd be uploading gameplays back in the day. If you look at some of my first few videos, I've got some weird videos on there that I've never taken down. It's me working out at camp, playing with a squirrel and weird things like that. So check those out. That's actually pretty funny stuff.
Squirrel.
Nothing video game related for my first few videos. So I maybe one day I'll get into Twitch and do some Twitch streaming.
Hey,
but
I got you there.
I mean, it's so convenient. You don't have to edit and things like that. But
What
I get
you
pretty.
do,
I'm a pretty heated fella.
that's
And
fine.
you guys would hear a lot of my.
No, a lot of some of the new upcoming streamers who get partnered are totally rage 24/7. It's great.
See, I want to convey myself in a more professional manner than that.
So like roid rage?
I want to be a sophisticated person who's all about tactics and strategy and teamwork, and not, oh come on, you killed me, that's bullcrap, that's bullcrap. You know,
So basically, you want to be level cap while streaming.
to an extent, to a degree.
Okay, Hobo, talk about yourself.
Okay, well, hello there, fine people of the internet. I am part-time hobo. As you can see, in my spare time, I like to participate in homeless activities from my two-story cardboard house. However, when I am not engaged in homeless pastimes, I am in front of a screen playing video games in a style no one has ever seen before. I am a licensed homeless man, so please donate generously to any of the following areas.
No shameless donation promotion.
No, it's not a donation thing, but I am part-time hobo. And get ready for the count here. My name is Part-Time Hobo on Steam, Crossfire, Xbox, PlayStation, Origin, Uplay, League of Legends, Minecraft, Tactical Warfare League, Major League Gaming, Frag Nation, Cybergamer,
he's on
ESL, Gaming League,
everything. We get it.
AIM,
He's on
Google+,
everything.
Facebook, Skype, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch TV, Tumblr, and Reddit. Boom.
What about Friendster?
Yes. No.
Friendster's still around in the Chinese market.
What about MySpace?
That's actually still
Screw
around.
that.
What about LinkedIn?
I am Part-Time Hobo on LinkedIn.
Oh. Okay. Well, before I talk about my spiel, hi, I'm Echo1Scout. I host this show you're watching right now. And that's pretty much it. They all know me. I stream from time to time. I also work with a charity on special events and fundraising money and public relations, that sort of thing, for a charity.
Oh, so you help people,
yeah,
huh?
I help people. Called the Able Gamers Charity, and what the Able Gamers Charity does is we fundraise money to give grants to people so they're able to afford like a one-handed controller, a quad stick, an accessible controller.
There was a YouTube video recently of a guy who had one hand,
Yeah.
and he was playing Counter-Strike competitively.
Yeah, Lefty.
That was pretty cool.
Lefty, yeah, he was on the Able Gamer stream before. He's the real Lefty. He's really good at it too. It's really cool. Just the other day we had someone play who had a disability. They're using a joystick to move the mouse, and they're using another keypad for buttons. It was really cool. But yeah, if you're interested in learning more about the Able Gamers Charity, you can go to my channel, twitch.tv/Echo1Scout. I stream pretty much every day unless I'm taking care of someone or I'm not feeling well. There's a schedule here. I'll be streaming right after this stream ends. I haven't decided what game yet. We'll probably do a quick vote once I do a little bit of wrap-up with these guys. So the stream will end for about 5 minutes, and it will come back up. So don't go anywhere. I will have a game coming up. Thank y'all so much for watching. I'm not going to play our normal Outbreak today. I'm going to play the Able Gamers video so you can get more about it. And I'll be doing this event on the 19th. It'll be a 24-hour stream. And I'll have people like Craig coming in and playing Warframe. Hobo might join us for a game if he decides to. But we have tons of games
Battlefield
that are
Hardline.
lined up. We have games from indie games that I'll be playing by myself to multiplayer games like Counter-Strike, Warframe, PlanetSide 2, all sorts of games. So that'll be really cool.
And
Thank you
Hobo,
guys so much once again for watching this show.
What about me, Craig?
I was going to say, you linked your Steam community thing. I forgot. Nowadays, it's actually really easy to just follow anybody. So whenever I'm on any Steam game, like Warframe, you can just hop on and watch it, whether I'm streaming or not.
Well, to be fair, Victory asked me for my Steam profile because he just added me, and so did Zenix.
So thank you guys so much for watching. We can't do this show without y'all. We really need y'all's help with this show. Thank y'all so much for participating, watching, chatting. If you're not a member of the Tactical Gaming and you want to help out with the show, you can email us at tacticalnation@outlook.com. So you can email us there. And then you can also check out, if you're on the Tactical Gaming site, you can go to the General Discussions Forum and you can check out the Tactical Gaming podcast there. Thank you so much for watching. It means a lot to us. And as soon as I figure out where I put this edit in... yep, there we go. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. We'll see you later. I'll link all my stuff in a second. I gotta wrap up the show. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Farewell. Ta-ta.
Hobo checking out.